Chapter 591. According to the medium specifications, how much heart blood essence is needed? Zhao Feng's expression didn't change. Master Wei said, at least 1 vat is needed to achieve the desired effect. However, if there's too much, it might attract the attention of the nearby whales. 1 vat? No problem. Zhao Feng didn't even think about it. Surprise flashed through Master Wei's eyes. A vat of heart blood essence sounded so simple in Zhao Feng's words. Thinking up to there, his gaze toward Zhao Feng became fiery. Brother Zhao, if you can provide me with a jar of sea whale heart blood essence, I can repay you for repairing and upgrading your ship this time. Master Wei said excitedly. Zhao Feng laughed. He didn't expect this Master Wei to want heart blood essence as well. Master Wei was at the middle stage small origin core realm, so the heart blood essence was indeed useful to him. It's a deal. Zhao Feng nodded his head. The amount of heart blood essence in his dark green gourd was enough to fill a large room. It was equivalent to dozens of vats of heart blood essence. After all, the body of the whale that Zhao Feng killed was extremely large, and its state of existence was close to the void god realm. Its battle power was comparable to those at the origin core realm. Seeing Zhao Feng agree, a smile appeared on Master Wei's face. Zhao Feng and Master Wei started to discuss the details of the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship. Brother Zhao's ship has the element of water lightning. It's very resistant to water, and it's good at disguising itself. Master Wei analyzed. Zhao Feng was very satisfied with the basic structure of the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship. The element of water lightning was perfect for his wind lightning true yuan and ice water bloodline. Okay, we'll still use the element of water lightning as the basic structure. Master Wei confirmed the first point. After that, he focused on improving the ship's performance. We don't need to expand the ship too much. We don't need to focus on offense, but we need to increase its speed and defense. Zhao Feng gave his thoughts. To him, the void ship's greatest use was for traveling and as a peaceful place to cultivate. Yes, if the scale of the ship is not expanded, it can indeed maximize the speed and other performance. Master Wei nodded. After determining a basic framework and train of thought. Secondly, there was the matter of materials. The choice of materials was also divided into 3, 6, and 9 grades. Among the medium specifications, Zhao Feng chose the best materials. The amount of resources required for the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship was an astronomical figure. Master Wei exclaimed in his mind. Apart from some 2-star sects and void god realm kings, he hadn't seen any sovereign spend so much money. Furthermore, the other party was a half-step primal core realm youth. This youth's background is probably not simple. Master Wei became even more serious. As they walked out of the inn, Master Wei asked Xiao Ma about Zhao Feng's background. My employer's background is very mysterious. In the Void Ocean Arena, even the geniuses of the sacred grounds talked to him. Little Pony's tone was a little proud, and even exaggerated a little. Spiritual sacred grounds? Master Wei couldn't help but take a deep breath. He didn't dare to let his guard down. Within the inn, Zhao Feng sat down cross-legged and started to comprehend while absorbing the ancient dream realm aura within his body. The aura from the ancient dream realm can strengthen my body and bloodline, and it's even similar to the aura of the 10,000 ancient races. If I continue to absorb it. Zhao Feng was looking forward to it. His bloodline power was now twice as strong as when he first left the Purple Saint Ruins. Although the effect of the ancient dream realm aura decreased as Zhao Feng's body and bloodline became stronger, it was still not enough. However, at the same time, the amount of time Zhao Feng could last in the ancient dream realm was also increasing. Before I break through to the origin core realm, I'll use the heart blood essence and the ancient dream realm aura to raise my bloodline to the limit. Zhao Feng had an idea. He had just broken through to the half-step origin core realm not long ago, so it wasn't realistic for him to reach the origin core realm in a short amount of time. Half a month later, half of the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship had been repaired. Now that the repairs were complete, it was time to strengthen it. On the other hand, Zhao Feng's plan to upgrade the 100 cursed corpses continued to gather the materials. In order to gather more resources, Zhao Feng also sold large amounts of resources from the ancient metal ring. The mountain of treasures and resources in the ancient iron ring was also decreasing. Among them, 30 to 40% of the ship's repairs were needed, and 60 to 70% of the cursed ghost corpses were needed. In the blink of an eye, Zhao Feng had stayed in the Void Ocean Spiritual Palace for almost a month. During this period of time, he left all the miscellaneous matters to Xiao Ma and Lulan Zhishui. Both Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader were using their time to increase their strength. Only these two knew that they might face the pursuit of death. What? Zhao Feng spat out a mouthful of blood, and his face went pale. He closed his eyes and circulated his half-step True Yuan to absorb the ancient dream realm aura. Meow meow. The little thieving cat leaned against him and absorbed the remaining ancient dream realm aura. At the same time, one human and one cat soaked in a large tub of heart blood essence. Over the past month, Zhao Feng's state of existence, bloodline, and body had all increased. Compared to a month ago, Zhao Feng's bloodline power had become pure. Unfortunately, the effect of the heart blood essence has decreased. Zhao Feng faintly sighed. His state of existence was comparable to a Great Origin Core realm, and it was even slightly stronger than normal Great Origin Core realms. However, the strengthening of his bloodline had many benefits. For example, by using some powerful battle skills or secret arts, one's foundation would be more solid, and they would be able to support themselves more effectively. The foundation of his life constitution also allowed him to have greater potential and increase his cultivation speed. Zhao Feng could clearly feel that his senses were becoming stronger and the conversion rate of his half-step True Yuan was becoming faster. In his mind, the speed at which he comprehended the purple wind lightning of the wind lightning inheritance was much faster than before. On this day, the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship was finally completed. Zhao Feng saw the new Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship near a lake in the Void Ocean Spiritual Palace. On the lake, it was a gray-blue metallic ship covered in intricate arrays. It was 35 yards long and had 2 floors. There was a tower at the top. At first glance, it looked like a large shark, faintly emitting a terrifying aura of an ancient sea creature. Zhao Feng told the sailors to go in and start the ship. A layer of ripples appeared on the surface of the blue sea sky ship, circulating on the surface of the ship, making the entire metallic pirate ship look noble and mysterious. After testing, the ship's speed has increased by 2 to 3 times and is close to the speed of a Great Origin Core realm. In terms of defense, it can block attacks from several normal Origin Core realms at the same time. Master Wei smiled and said, Zhao Feng inspected the entire Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship. Both inside and out, it had been strengthened. It was like a giant shark made of steel, far better than normal ships. The material of the ship's body felt even more metallic. It was cold and smooth, and the patterns were fine. On the same day, Zhao Feng inspected the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship and let the sailors get used to it. At the same time, Zhao Feng paid Master Wei a jar of heart blood essence. Brother Zhao, you built such an excellent ship just for sea travel? Master Wei was very curious about Zhao Feng's background. If it was a normal person, they could use the resources on their own cultivation. Truth be told, I need to travel across spiritual realms. Zhao Feng said, You mean to leave the true martial sacred lands territory and enter another spiritual sacred lands territory? Master Wei was surprised. How far was it to travel across spiritual realms? Brother Zhao, since you know the geniuses of the sacred land, why don't you think of a way to use the spiritual zone teleportation array to travel from one sacred land to another? That will save a lot of time. Master Wei said with surprise. From his point of view, Zhao Feng's background wasn't simple. He might even be related to the spiritual sacred land. Spiritual zone teleportation array? Zhao Feng's heart moved. He suddenly thought of the map in his mind. The 3 spiritual sacred lands were connected by a special line. If I'm not wrong, those lines can teleport people across super long distances. Zhao Feng couldn't help but feel excited. However, I heard that the price to use the spiritual zone teleportation array or other normal teleportation arrays is great. Only a small number of people have the right, Master Wei added, "Thank you, Master." An idea appeared in Zhao Feng's mind. His destination was too far away. If he could use the spiritual zone teleportation array, he could save at least half the time. On the same day, Zhao Feng asked around and finally found two geniuses of the sacred land in the Void Ocean Spiritual Palace. Jiang Fan and Qin Yilin stayed in the guest rooms of the Void Ocean Spiritual Palace. The two also met Zhao Feng. Spiritual zone teleportation array? Jiang Fan and Qin Yilin looked at each other. The two stilled and then shook their heads decisively. Even we can only use ordinary teleportation formations, let alone teleportation formations that can teleport across spirit realms. You have to know that my master is an elder of the sacred land, and Jiang Fan's master is even more amazing. The tall and thin youth, Qin Yilin, said slightly apologetically. What he meant was, with their powerful backgrounds, they could only occasionally use the ordinary teleportation formation. Normal teleportation arrays can teleport people between the Void Ocean spiritual palaces and even to the spiritual sacred lands. However, they are only used by core members of the sacred land. We have permission from our seniors to use them. Jiang Fan shook his head and said, although Zhao Feng wasn't surprised, he was slightly disappointed. He wasn't a member of the sacred land and didn't have a strong background. He didn't even have the right to use the normal teleportation arrays between the Void Ocean spiritual palaces. Furthermore, the two geniuses of the sacred land didn't have any relationship with Zhao Feng and weren't willing to help him. I'll be leaving first. Zhao Feng left the guest room under the cold gazes of the two geniuses of the sacred land. This Zhao Feng only has good talent and a good bloodline, but he doesn't have a strong background or a strong senior. We won't be able to interact with him in the future. Qin Yilin smiled faintly. Jiang Fan also sighed. If the two of them helped him, there was still a small sliver of hope. However, as core geniuses of the sacred land, they had high standards and didn't think highly of Zhao Feng's potential. They didn't plan on befriending him. Therefore, they couldn't be bothered to get involved. Chapter 592. Walking out of the guest area, Zhao Feng shook his head. He wasn't surprised by this result. It was normal for the two geniuses from the sacred land not to help. The reason why he tried was because he wanted to try his luck. After returning to the inn, Zhao Feng contacted Xiao Ma and Lulan Jishui again. Captain, we've basically purchased all the materials and resources you've requested. The primal crystal stones from selling the treasures will be used to purchase. Xiao Ma took out the list and checked. Regarding the purchase, Xiao Ma used his connections and Lulan Jishui was in charge of supervising. Okay, I'll leave the Void Ocean Spiritual Palace in 3 days. Zhao Feng made his decision. The Void Ocean Spiritual Palace was like a high-grade supply point on his way. His needs had been met and it was time to leave. Xiao Ma, this is your payment. Zhao Feng raised a hand and tossed an interspatial ring to Xiao Ma. Xiao Ma scanned it with his spiritual sense and his heart jumped. Thank you, Captain. Xiao Ma thanked him profusely and bowed repeatedly. In addition to a pile of primal crystal stones, there was also a barrel of sea whale heart blood essence. That pile of primal crystal stones was equivalent to several years of his earnings. As for the bucket of heart blood essence, it was something that he had always dreamed of. Before leaving, Xiao Ma looked deeply at Zhao Feng. With this bucket of heart blood essence, his state of existence would change by leaps and bounds. As long as he successfully took the step, his life and destiny would undergo a completely different change. In the room of the inn, is there really no hope of using the spiritual zone's spatial teleportation array? Zhao Feng started to think. The journey across the sacred lands was extremely long. If everything went smoothly, it would take at least a dozen years. But if he could use the spiritual zone's spatial teleportation array, he could save more than half the time. However, the two geniuses from the sacred land wouldn't help Zhao Feng. Shua. A purple token that looked like water suddenly appeared in Zhao Feng's hand. It was the Purple Saint token. There was a subtle connection between the Purple Saint token and the Purple Saint ruins. This token could open an inheritance path. This token contained an extraordinary power and was connected to the Purple Saint ruins. The Purple Saint token can be used 3 times. I've already used it once. Zhao Feng closed his eyes and sensed. The aura on the other end of the Purple Saint token was extremely weak. Firstly, it was because of the distance, and secondly, the Purple Saint partial spirit and the loss of the dimension's power. Otherwise, even if he had to cross several island zones, he would still be able to open a legacy path. Although the Thousand Flow Island Zone and the Tianlu Island Zone were neighbors, with the Purple Saint partial spirit's current strength, it wouldn't be enough. Thankfully, Zhao Feng didn't plan on returning to the Purple Saint ruins. Senior Violet Saint, my goal this time is too far away. We need to use the true Martial Sacred Lands Spirit Realm Teleportation Formation. Zhao Feng sent a message over. The difficulty of opening the path was high, and it would use up the Purple Saint partial spirit's energy. However, the transmission of information greatly reduced the consumption. However, after a long time, there was no response from the other end. Could something have happened to the Purple Saint ruins? Zhao Feng's eyebrows furrowed. Half the time it took to make tea later. A sigh came from the Purple Saint token. Zhao Feng, take my Purple Saint token and go to the true Martial Sacred Land to find a person called Duan Muqin. However, I'm not sure if that person is still alive. If he's still alive, he'll definitely be able to help you. He's trustworthy. True Martial Sacred Land? Duan Muqin? Great. Zhao Feng was overjoyed. He only asked the Purple Saint partial spirit for help because he didn't have much hope. Someone who was related to the Purple Saint's sacred lord at her peak and was able to survive until now wasn't simple. Brother Zhao Feng, the Purple Saint ruins is doing well. Don't worry. Zhao Yufei's voice sounded through the Purple Saint token. Through the Purple Saint token, Zhao Feng contacted the Purple Saint ruins. However, this couldn't be done too often or for too long. Because the distance was too far, the burden on the Purple Saint token was too great. Furthermore, the Purple Saint dimension was losing energy. At the same time, Purple Saint ruins, 3rd floor of the Treasured Palace. Wang, a girl in a purple dress who was as elegant as a fairy, had a crystal key floating in front of her. The young woman was coiled in a layer of faint and glistening violet light. Her skin was like snow-white jade, and it was suffused with a crystalline sheen. She transcended the shackles of the body of flesh and blood. From the naked eye, she looked like a goddess of the 9 heavens. Yufei, looks like your spiritual race bloodline is about to awaken. Your mental energy level hasn't reached the origin core realm yet, but you're able to condense such pure half-step true yuan. It won't be long before you can completely refine true essence. The Purple Saint partial spirit said with a smile. His mental energy hadn't reached the origin core realm, but he was able to refine true yuan first. This sounded like a fantasy. Maybe some people were blessed and could condense true yuan even without the cultivation of the origin core realm. However, that kind of true yuan was obtained from the outside world and wasn't refined by the user. Most of it was in a sealed state. Zhao Yufei, on the other hand, was able to condense high-grade true yuan. The spiritual race is ranked near the top of the 10,000 ancient races bloodline. The Purple Saint partial spirit nodded her head. 3 days later, near the entrance of the Void Ocean Spiritual Palace. He's appeared. That brat's about to leave the Void Ocean Spiritual Palace. Notify 3rd Elder. Near the entrance of the spiritual hall, a few ordinary figures communicated with each other using their spiritual senses. Shwa. The few figures flashed past in a flash. A few breaths later. So. Zhao Feng and the sailors flew out of the Void Ocean Spiritual Palace. Shwa. Zhao Feng raised his hand, and the new blue sea sky ship radiated an ancient aura as it appeared at the entrance of the hall. What a powerful aura. This ship's grade is very high. At the entrance of the spiritual palace, many people looked over. Zhao Feng led the way and entered the limitless ocean ship. The decorations on the blue sea sky ship were exquisite, like a high-class inn. Furthermore, the material of the ship was tough and its defense was strong. Lulan Zhishui and the sailors went into the ship. After absorbing the heart-blood essence, many of the sailors made breakthroughs, and their physiques were close to the half-step primal core realm. With their physiques altered, their potential was even greater. Lulan Jishue was a peak genius, and she easily broke through to the late-stage True Lord rank. Let's go. Zhao Feng sat in the luxurious captain's room and gave the order. Wengso. The blue lightning sea sky ship created a ripple of water and lightning as it passed through the barrier of the void ocean spiritual palace and entered the limitless ocean. An elder in a black shirt led two sovereigns and chased after the blue lightning sea sky ship. The elder was the third elder of the Gone Cloud Pavilion. The two sovereigns next to him were both at the late-stage small origin core realm, and their speed was extremely fast. In the past month, the elder in the black robe had mobilized the forces of the Gone Cloud Pavilion and sent people to wait here. Brat. The Gone Cloud Pavilion has set up a net in the limitless ocean. You won't be able to escape even if you have wings. The black-robed supremacy's cold shout was like thunder and lightning that shook the void ocean ship. Within the blue lightning sea sky ship, the blood of the sailors boiled. The aura of a great origin core realm seemed to have merged with the power of nature. What speed! Only the sovereign lord at the great origin core realm was able to close the distance between the three sovereigns. The other two late-stage small origin core realms couldn't catch up to the blue lightning sea sky ship. That junior actually fused the heart-blood essence of a sea whale into the ship. What a waste of a treasure! The sovereign lord's eyes became even colder. So, the blue lightning sea sky ship had just flown a certain distance when two middle-stage small origin core realm sovereigns charged over. Brats, stay here. The two small origin core realm sovereigns attacked at the same time and locked down everything within 10 miles. Boom! Boom! The blue lightning sea sky ship took the attack, but its metallic exterior was still smooth and cold. This ship's defense is so strong. The two sovereigns clicked their tongues, but they didn't just stand there and do their best to stop the ship. Although their attacks weren't able to truly threaten the ship, it wasn't hard to slow it down. Haha. You two stop that ship. The dark-robed supremacy laughed out loud, and his face was filled with ecstasy. He attacked Zhao Feng mainly because he wanted the heart-blood essence, but he didn't think that Zhao Feng would have such a high-quality ship. Even his Gan Yun Pavilion, which was at the peak of 1 star, would have a hard time finding a ship of such quality. Master. The skeletal division leader appeared from a cloud of smoke. In the past month, with the help of the heart-blood essence and the mystic black crystal bone, the skeletal division leader's strength had increased by leaps and bounds. Zhao Feng's gaze scanned over it. The skeletal division leader's bones were dark black and had gold and silver lines on them. Its bones were even thicker than before. Ding! Ding! The skeletal division leader appeared on the blue lightning sea sky ship and took the attacks of two small origin core realms head-on. The skeletal division leader let out a smug laugh as it pushed forward with one hand, and layers of spikes shot toward the two sovereign lords. Boom! Boom! The two sovereigns were forced back, and one of them was lightly injured. Zhao Feng couldn't help but nod his head. The skeletal division leader's cultivation was close to the late-stage small origin core realm, and its bones and body had been strengthened to a whole new level. It could basically ignore the attacks of normal small origin core realms. Adding on the 9 deadly Yin bone, the skeletal division leader was able to surpass the late-stage small origin core realm and approach the great origin core realm. Let's finish this quickly. Zhao Feng saw that the three sovereigns were about to catch up. Shua. He waved the black flag, and 100 cursed ghost corpses appeared in the limitless ocean. A layer of dark flames formed a ghost fire cloud that radiated a terrifying power that instantly spread across a radius of 4 to 5 miles. Not good. The two sovereigns were touched by the aura of the flames, and their bodies started to feel unwell. Unknowingly, countless pale, bloody, withered hands reached out from the dark mist of the 100 corpses formation, reaching into their internal organs and digging for food. The essence of the two venerables was continuously flowing away. The injured sovereign felt even worse, as if he was being haunted by ghosts. Mental energy ghost mystery, 10,000 ghost confusion. The red flames in the skeletal division leader's eye sockets jumped and released a weird power of mental energy that enveloped the ghost corpse cursed array. Shua! Shua! Zhao Feng waved the black flag, and dark flames formed circles of mist that trapped the two sovereign lords. Arg! The two martial sovereigns were trapped in the 100-corpse cursed formation, causing them to feel dizzy and confused. Their faces were filled with fear as they screamed. Their skin and flesh were festering at a speed visible to the naked eye. Chapter 593. When the 100 cursed ghost corpses finished forming the array, its power reached a new level. Even something as powerful as the void ocean whale had died indirectly to the 100-corpse cursed formation. At this moment in time, the rolling flames forced the two sovereigns into desperation with the help of the skeletal division leader's mental energy. Being trapped in the ghost corpse cursed array meant that the power of the ghost corpses was eroding them. The flesh and skin of the two sovereigns were also quickly rotting, and their energy was being drained. Hold on. The expression of the shirt-wearing sovereign lord changed dramatically when he saw this, and the aura of a great origin core realm crushed over. He obviously didn't expect Zhao Feng to have a killing move like this. During the battle with the Metal Horn Pirates, Zhao Feng didn't use this killing move when he was fighting with the two great origin core realms. This ghost corpse cursed array will definitely change after killing 100 sovereigns. The skeletal division leader laughed wickedly and was even more excited than Zhao Feng. After all, it was the one who made the ghost corpses himself. Void Sky Demonic Stab. The Earth-grade weapon that the skeletal division leader had merged with its bones shot out. Shoo! A huge dark silver bone-piercing light flashed in the air. It had a domineering power, and it seemed to be able to break through the restrictions of space. It complemented the ghost corpse cursed array and pierced through one of the primal core realm venerables. Arg! A scream came from within the ghost corpse cursed array. The origin core realm sovereign's body soon turned into a puddle of blood. At the same time, Arg, save me. The other origin core realm sovereign was surrounded by a dragon of resentment and blood as countless dry hands started to eat his body. Who? Zhao Feng waved the black flag and used the power of the ghost corpse cursed array to turn this origin core realm sovereign into a puddle of blood. In an instant, two middle-stage small origin core realm sovereigns died in the ghost corpse cursed array. Who, the essence of the two supremacies, was also absorbed by the grand curse formation. This scene caused the faces of the three primal core realms chasing after them to turn pale with fright. Thief! How dare you kill an elder of my gone cloud pavilion? The black-robed sovereign lord suppressed the shock in his heart and released the aura of a great origin core realm that affected heaven and earth. Three sovereigns led by the Gan Yun Third Elder charged towards the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship. The other two sovereigns were both late-stage small origin core realms. Break! The Gan Cloud Tribe's Third Elder thrust out his palm, causing the heavens and earth to turn upside down. A green, glowing palm print exploded out, and everything within 10 miles was covered by a powerful aura. That mighty palm strike struck the ghost corpse cursed formation. The ghost mist flame sprouts formed by the ghost corpse cursed formation cracked layer by layer, clearly dimming and thinning. Shwa! Zhao Feng waved the black flag, and the hundreds of cursed ghost corpses released a continuous stream of ghost corpses. This ghost corpse cursed formation isn't the same as before. How can it be broken so easily? The skeletal division leader's body started to crackle as it merged with the 9 deadly Yin bone once more. Wang, the skeletal division leader, used a secret technique, and its skeleton suddenly grew to 10 yards tall, turning into a flaming bone giant. The flaming bone giant of the skeletal division leader was extremely powerful, and flames of death howled and howled as they complemented the power of the ghost corpse cursed formation. In the last month, the skeletal division leader had absorbed the heart blood essence and the mystic black crystal bone, and its strength had increased dramatically. Its battle power was even stronger than normal late-stage small origin core realms. Furthermore, it was currently in the ghost corpse cursed formation, and it was using a powerful ghost bone technique. Old undying bastard, take this palm. The flaming bone giant grew to 4 or 5 yards taller, and flames of death shot into the sky as it charged toward the third elder of the Gone Cloud sect. Bam! A shocking explosion sounded in the air above the Ghost Corp's cursed formation, and a terrifying wave of air engulfed the ocean. The blue sea sky ship below started to flip and fall into the ocean. The skeletal division leader was pushed back several steps. It was obvious that it was at a disadvantage. However, the excitement in its eyes became even stronger. Thinking back to when it first met Lord Husua, it couldn't fight back at all. Now, only half a year had passed, and its strength had increased by leaps and bounds. "The two of you, restrain the skeleton while I capture and kill that brat," the black-robed sovereign lord roared and messaged. He knew that Zhao Feng, who was in charge of the Ghost Corp's cursed formation, was the key. After all, the threat of the Ghost Corp's cursed formation was too big. Once the Ghost Corp's cursed formation was broken, Zhao Feng and company would lose their cover, and they wouldn't be a match for 3 origin core realms. Furthermore, the skeletal division leader's defense was too strong, and it was hard to kill it. "As long as I kill this brat, I can take the spoils of war and then take care of the skeleton." The black-robed sovereign lord's eyes twinkled. "Bastard die." The black-robed sovereign lord went around the skeletal division leader and charged toward Zhao Feng in the center of the Ghost Corp's cursed formation. The skeletal division leader cooperated and didn't stop him from fighting the other 2 late-stage small origin core realms. In a short amount of time, the flaming bone giant that the skeletal division leader had turned into had the advantage and suppressed the 2 late-stage small origin core realms. "Go." Zhao Feng's expression didn't change as he waved the array flag, and the power of the Ghost Corp's cursed toward the black-robed sovereign lord. "Break." The black-robed sovereign lord thrust out his palm, and the power of the Ghost Corp's curse toward him was shattered before it could even get close. Zhao Feng's expression didn't change as he used the power of the Ghost Corp's cursed formation and charged toward the black-robed sovereign lord. Innumerable pale and bloody withered hands entangled the black-robed supremacy's body. They extended into his internal organs and started to devour his flesh. The expression of the black-robed sovereign lord changed slightly. Even someone at the Great Origin Core realm like him couldn't ignore the power of the curse. The power of the curse is everywhere. This isn't a normal mental energy attack. Zhao Feng didn't fear anything and allowed the black-robed sovereign lord to attack him. Although the black-robed sovereign lord could attack him, his strength would be weakened. Once the power of the curse entered his body for too long, he wouldn't be able to escape even though he was at the Great Origin Core realm. No matter how strong the black-robed sovereign lord's state of existence was, there was still a huge difference between him and the limitless ocean whale. "As long as I kill this brat within 10 breaths, I'll be able to escape unscathed," the black-robed true lord thought. He was confident that he could kill Zhao Feng within 10 breaths, and he could even do it within 4 or 5 breaths. Wings of wind and lightning. A pair of purple wings of wind and lightning suddenly formed behind Zhao Feng's back, increasing his speed and agility dramatically. Shwa, shwa. Under the cover of the ghost mist and flames, Zhao Feng left behind a series of afterimages. Within the 100 Corpses cursed formation, the senses of the experts outside would be affected greatly. However, Zhao Feng, the owner of the array, wasn't affected at all. He and the skeletal division leader knew the array like the back of their hands. "Cunning brat!" The black-robed sovereign lord roared as he thrust out his palm, and a green palm instantly locked down everything within a few hundred yards. His first attack was able to destroy a large area. However, Zhao Feng's reaction speed was extremely fast, and he had the geographical advantage, so he was able to dodge the attack several times. Zhao Feng's body was surrounded by a ripple of water that was as deep as the ocean. Some of the attacks landed on Zhao Feng, but they were absorbed by the ripple. Even if he was lightly injured, Zhao Feng's water bloodline could quickly heal him. What a strong bloodline power! The black-robed sovereign lord's expression changed slightly as he realized that he had completely underestimated Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng's state of existence was even stronger than normal Great Origin Core realms, and his bloodline power had increased by leaps and bounds over the past half a year. He had the wings of wind and lightning for offense and speed. He had the water bloodline for defense and healing. With the Ghost Corp's cursed array's advantage, Zhao Feng was able to fight against a great Origin Core Realm Sovereign Lord for a few breaths. However, after all, the great Origin Core Realm was a Sovereign Lord, and their attacks soon forced Zhao Feng into a certain area. Mystic Sky Ink Seal. A dark green palm appeared. It was half a mile wide and didn't dissipate. It shined brightly and covered the area where Zhao Feng was. 1G. Zhao Feng's face went bright red, and it was as if he was being attacked by the power of nature. His wings of wind and lightning and his water bloodline were both being suppressed. His knees started to bend, and his body started to sway. If it weren't for the fact that his state of existence was stronger than normal Great Origin Core realms and his water bloodline was extremely strong, normal Small Origin Core realm sovereigns would have collapsed already. Ha! Brat, just give up. The black-robed Sovereign Lord laughed. After all, a Sovereign Lord was a Sovereign Lord. If he couldn't even take down a half-step Origin Core realm, he wouldn't have any face left in the island zone. Water Spirit Divine Change. Zhao Feng's eyes squinted, and the blue light around him started to twist. The serene light suddenly fused with Zhao Feng's flesh and blood. His body began to sway as if it were liquid, ripples appearing on its surface. Boom! The terrifying attack of a great Origin Core realm landed on Zhao Feng, but it was as if it had hit a person made of water. What? The black-robed Sovereign Lord's expression changed dramatically. His body has turned into a liquid state? This brat can comprehend such a profound technique? The Water Spirit Divine Change was a supreme technique even in the 2.5-star Pure Moon spiritual sect, and very few people could successfully cultivate it. Under the effect of the Water Spirit Divine Change, Zhao Feng's body was in a liquid state, and his defense was almost invincible. Giant. Zhao Feng's body suddenly grew to more than 2 yards tall, and he looked like a water spirit god. Zhao Feng's every action was like an ocean, and his battle power rose to a whole new level. Zhao Feng ignored the attack of a great Origin Core realm and punched out, shattering the palm. At this moment in time, the power of Zhao Feng's Water Spirit Divine Change had already surpassed Elder Shui Yun's in the past. This was due to his strong state of existence and bloodline, which allowed him to use this technique more easily. Arg! In the blink of an eye, a water spirit giant condensed from azure water light descended from the sky. Boom! The water spirit giant hit one of the late-stage Small Origin Core realms from the back. The 2 late-stage Small Origin Core realms were being suppressed by the Skeletal Division leader, and they were being weakened by the Ghost Corp's power. The late-stage Small Origin Core realm that was ambushed died. Even before his death, he couldn't understand how Zhao Feng had the ability to kill him when he was being suppressed by a great Origin Core realm. However, the reality was that, at this moment, Zhao Feng was completely ignoring the black-robed Sovereign Lord's attacks. Chapter 594. Another late-stage Small Origin Core realm elder was about to die by Zhao Feng's hands. Brat! The third elder of the Gone Cloud tribe was enraged. 3 of the 4 sovereigns he had brought had already died. Mystic Sky Ink Technique Slash. The third elder of the Gone Cloud sect's True Yuan exploded and a dark green light appeared in a 10-mile radius. It was like the blade of heaven's punishment that had merged with the universe and slashed toward Zhao Feng like lightning. That terrifyingly powerful slash caused heaven and earth to tremble. Everyone else, including the Skeletal Division leader and the other sovereign, felt their hearts jump. Shwa! Zhao Feng's water spirit giant flashed, but it wasn't able to completely dodge the slash. Shwa! The deep blue ripples on the water spirit giant's body rapidly dimmed as it was almost cut in half by the profound sky ink art slash. The 30-foot-tall water spirit giant's wounds began to glow with a blood-red light, and they rapidly healed as the wounds began to glow. Under the Water Spirit Divine Change, Zhao Feng's flesh and blood merged with the power of water and turned his body into a half-liquid state for a short period of time. In this state, his defense was almost undying, and his recovery speed was monstrous. Zhao Feng blocked the third elder's attack head-on and flew toward the other late-stage Small Origin Core realm with a flash of water. Boom! The water spirit giant waved its hand and sent the other late-stage Small Origin Core realm flying and coughing out blood. This was different from last time in the Purple Saint ruins. Zhao Feng's water spirit divine change was the complete version. Not only did it have an undying defense, it also made his body bigger, and each of his actions had the power to flip mountains. On top of that, the power of Zhao Feng's water spirit divine change had already surpassed Elder Shui Yun, who was at the late-stage small origin core realm. Over the past half a year, with the help of the ancient dream realm and the heart-blood essence, Zhao Feng's state of existence and bloodline power had become several times stronger than normal great origin core realms. The water spirit soul transformation, supported by his powerful life force and bloodline power, was much more powerful than before. Stop! The third elder of the Gone Cloud sect roared as he watched the remaining late-stage small origin core realm fall into the pincer attack of the water spirit giant and the flaming bone giant. Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader's strength surpassed normal late-stage small origin core realms when they used their secret techniques. A dark blue light flashed around Zhao Feng's body as he took the third elder's attack head-on, and he pushed the other late-stage small origin core realm into despair. The last late-stage small origin core elder died under the pincer attack of Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader. His body instantly turned into a puddle of blood in the Ghost Corpse Cursed Array. The Ghost Corpse Cursed Array had absorbed the essence and soul of 4 sovereigns, and the power of the ghost corpses was enough to scare away demons and gods. Sii. The third elder of the Gone Cloud sect's expression changed dramatically as he took in a cold breath and floated in the air. My water spirit divine change can only last 10 breaths at most. Zhao Feng's figure flashed as he leaped toward the third elder of the Gone Cloud sect. Of course, even with the water spirit divine change, he could only fight against a great origin core realm and wasn't a true threat. Shua. Zhao Feng waved the array flag and directed the air of death and hatred of the Ghost Corpse Cursed Array toward the third elder of the Gone Cloud sect. Bastard! As the third elder of the Gone Cloud tribe waved his palm, the aura of heaven and earth shattered the mist and flames. However, his face was pale white, and the discomfort in his body became stronger and stronger. From the start of the fight until now, his body had been eroded by the power of the curse, and his life force and soul were being drained faster and faster. Using this chance, the water spirit giant and flaming bone giant that Zhao Feng and the third elder had turned into attacked the great origin core realm. Bam! Bam! In the great ghost corpse formation that covered a radius of several miles, the 3 experts fought fiercely, and explosions rang out continuously. A few breaths later, the skeletal division leader retreated, and the flames on its body became dimmer. The ripples of light from Zhao Feng's water spirit giant also became fainter. On the other side, the face of the sovereign lord was as white as paper, and his body started to tremble. In the invisible dimension, hundreds of pale, bloody, withered hands wrapped him up and devoured his life essence, soul every second. The battle had reached this point. The black-robed supremacy had fallen into a state of weakness. He had even suffered some internal injuries in the previous rounds of attacks. Looking closely, the Sovereign Lord's skin had started to dry up. In less than 10 breaths of time, he seemed to have aged 10 years. Old bastard, the Ghost Corpse Cursed Curse has already taken away many years of your lifespan. The skeletal division leader laughed smugly. The Sovereign Lord's face was gray, and his skin started to rot as the power of the curse entered his body. Bastard! The Gone Cloud Pavilion won't let you go. The third elder of the Gone Cloud sect looked fierce on the outside, but he was terrified on the inside. A thread of fear shot out from the depths of his eyes. After saying that, he barely circulated his true yuan and waved his hand, sending out a green palm energy that pushed back Zhao Feng and Zhao Yu. Shua! In the next instant, the black-clothed exalted lord's figure disappeared without a trace. Zhao Feng and the third elder raised their heads and saw that the sovereign lord was already several miles away. He stumbled in the air and spat out another mouthful of blood. Master, the Ghost Corpse Cursed Curse has sunk into that old bastard's body and lost a lot of his life force. He's extremely weak right now. We were just a little bit away from killing him. The skeletal division leader said unwillingly. If it could devour the soul of a great origin core realm, it would be extremely beneficial to the Ghost Corp's cursed curse. After all, he's a great origin core realm sovereign lord. Zhao Feng shook his head faintly as the ripples of water around him started to fade and return to his normal body. After returning to his normal body, Zhao Feng's face was slightly pale white. The water spirit divine change had a heavy price, and Zhao Feng could only maintain it for a short while. Shua. Zhao Feng waved the array flag and put away the Ghost Corp's cursed array before nodding his head in satisfaction. Heavily injuring a great origin core realm this time was much easier than fighting Lord Husua. The most important thing was, Zhao Feng didn't use his eye bloodline. With the help of the Ghost Corp's cursed array, Zhao Feng and the Skeletal Division leader could suppress normal great origin core realm sovereign lords. If it was half a year ago, they wouldn't even dare to imagine it. Quickly retreat. Zhao Feng returned to the Blue Lightning Sky ship and immediately gave the order. The battle just now was extremely loud with 5 or 6 origin core realms and even a great origin core realm. This attracted the attention of many nearby experts. What a fierce battle. Several sovereigns died. Just who was that person on the ship? He nearly killed all 5 of the Gone Cloud Pavilion's elders. The Gone Cloud Pavilion is one of the strongest forces around here. Because they were close to the Void Ocean Spiritual Palace, some of the experts saw the entire process. So, the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship passed through the limitless ocean at an extremely fast speed, and normal sovereigns couldn't catch up. In the blink of an eye, the ship that had slaughtered the elders of the Gone Cloud Pavilion had already disappeared. Even though the instigator had already left, this matter had shaken several nearby regions and alarmed several one-star sects in just half a month. The Gone Cloud Pavilion was one of the top one-star sects in the nearby regions, and its strength was second only to those 2-star sections. Not long after, the Gone Cloud Pavilion put out a bounty on the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship. On this day half a month later, in the Sea of Mist, a tall, silent and cold shadow figure moved through the sea of mist like a weightless ghost. Wherever this tall, shadowy figure went, all was silent. Countless beasts within 1,000 miles trembled in fear, as if the god of death had grabbed their throats. That person. Some of the experts from the other realms, including some venerables, were alarmed. The tall, shadowy figure gave all living beings an oppressive feeling of death that came from their souls. The Emperor's aura of death has stopped here. The tall figure floated near the Void Ocean Spiritual Palace. Shua. The tall figure disappeared and entered the Void Ocean Spiritual Palace with a single step. What a terrifying aura! The guards at the entrance of the Void Ocean Spiritual Palace felt cold, and their backs were drenched in cold sweat. A while later, the mysterious figure left the Void Ocean Spiritual Palace and headed toward a nearby island. His speed was extremely fast, almost 10 times faster than normal Great Origin Core realms. The Eternal Pine Zone, the Gone Cloud clan's headquarters, within a luxurious palace, the 3rd elder of the Gone Cloud clan let out a long breath as black blood was forced out of his body. Luckily, there's a way to deal with the Ghost Corp's curse. The 3rd elder's expression was weak, but he felt lucky. If this had dragged on for a few more days, the power of the curse would have entered his soul, and even the entire Gone Cloud Pavilion wouldn't have been able to do anything. You're the 3rd elder of the Gone Cloud Pavilion? A cold and hoarse voice seemed to come from the abyss of death. You. The 3rd elder of the Gone Cloud sect was scared out of his wits. A tall figure, like the representative of the god of death, floated next to him. The tall shadow slowly stretched out a hand that was shrouded in black smoke. Just like that, it gently grasped the Gone Yun 3rd elder's neck. Save me. The 3rd elder of the Gone Cloud Pavilion fell into limitless fear. The hand covered in black smoke was like the scythe of death that grabbed onto his soul and suppressed all of his true yuan. Spare me. I'll agree to anything you want. The 3rd elder of the Gone Cloud Pavilion trembled like a little chicken, and he couldn't resist at all. Your life and soul don't belong to you anymore. The tall figure had a mocking expression, and his hoarse voice made the 3rd elder of the Gone Cloud Pavilion fall into despair. Shua. The tall figure's other hand pressed onto the 3rd elder's temple. The third elder's consciousness went black, and he fainted. Soul reading mind. Wisps of transparent black light entered the third elder's soul, but the latter was like a vegetable and didn't react at all. A while later, plop. The third elder of the Gone Cloud Pavilion fell to the ground, and there was no one left in the empty room. However, a faint voice sounded in the soul dimension, like the murmur of a dead spirit. The pursuit of death has only just begun. Run, let's see how far you can run. I just hope that you're not too weak. Chapter 595. 2 months later. In the limitless ocean. So, the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship sped through the limitless ocean at a shocking speed, close to the speed of a great origin core realm. In the past 2 months, the journey was extremely smooth. The Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship had merged with the Heart Blood Essence, and it radiated an ancient aura that scared away many of the beasts in the limitless ocean. Some of the pirates couldn't do anything to Zhao Feng and company. This was because normal pirates couldn't even catch up to the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship. Normal pirates didn't dare to attack a ship of this level either. Within the ship. Captain, after 2 months of flying, we've reached the edge of the Thousand Flow Island Zone and are about to enter the next island zone. Lulan Jishui reported. In the past 2 months, the sailors of the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship had improved. After being washed with the Heart Blood Essence, their life force had become stronger, and their cultivations had all reached the late-stage True Lord rank or above. A small number of the sailors were close to the half-step origin core realm. Next destination, the True Martial Sacred Land. Zhao Feng's firm voice sounded across the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship. True Martial Sacred Land. The hearts of all the crew members on the ship shook, and they immediately became excited. The True Martial Sacred Land was one of the 3 spiritual sacred lands of the Tsang Ocean. One had to know that each spiritual sacred land ruled a part of the ocean, and there were hundreds of island zones. I didn't think that Captain's goal would be the True Martial Sacred Land. With Captain's power, he might be able to gain a foothold in the spiritual sacred land. The sailors started to discuss. True Martial Sacred Land. Lulan Jishui took a deep breath as expectation flashed through her eyes. Zhao Feng and Lulan Jishui started to study the map. The True Martial Sacred Land is in the center of the ocean. We still need to pass through dozens of island zones before we can reach it. Lulan Jishui said. Dozens of island zones. Just how far was that? If it wasn't for the fact that they had a ship like the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship, they wouldn't even dare to think about it. For normal sovereigns, the distance between island zones was extremely far. Ancient Azure Island Zone. Tianlu Island Zone. Thousand Flow Island Zone. We're about to enter a new island zone. Zhao Feng muttered in his heart. Unknowingly, he was getting further and further away from his hometown, the Azure Flower Continent. He could still remember that when he left, the Scarlet Moon demonic religion had risen from the ashes and was counterattacking. At this moment, the 10,000 Ghost Pearl gave off a strong aura of death that was enough to make normal sovereigns change their expressions. Skeletal Division Leader, you succeeded. A smile appeared on Zhao Feng's face as he sent his spiritual sense into the myriad Ghost Pearl. In the past few months, the Skeletal Division Leader was in seclusion, absorbing the effects of the Heart Blood Essence and the Mystic Black Crystal Bone in order to break through to the late-stage Small Origin Core realm. I really didn't expect that I would break through while being enslaved. The Skeletal Division Leader sighed. If he was in the Azure Flower Continent or some other ordinary region, he didn't know how long it would take him to reach the late stage from the middle stage of the Origin Core realm. He enslaved? Skeletal Division Leader, it sounds like you're very unwilling. Zhao Feng chuckled. Shua. The Skeletal Division Leader appeared in front of Zhao Feng, and its late-stage Small Origin Core realm aura was much stronger than normal sovereigns. After all, after absorbing 2 barrels of Heart Blood Essence and merging it into the Mystic Black Crystal Bone, the Skeletal Division Leader's defense was much stronger than normal late-stage Small Origin Core realms. Attacks below the Great Origin Core realm couldn't injure the Skeletal Division Leader at all. I can even barely fight against a Great Origin Core realm. If I have the Ghost Corpse Cursed Array, I might have a higher chance of winning. The skeletal division leader's confidence rose. At this moment, it wasn't as scared of Zhao Feng as before. The skeletal division leader instinctively inspected its master. What it saw made it jump up in fright. The powerful aura exuded by Zhao Feng's body was vast and vigorous, like that of a primordial beast. It even felt like it was facing a limitless ocean whale. How is this possible? The skeletal division leader's expression changed dramatically. It estimated that Zhao Feng's state of existence was close to the peak Great Origin Core realm. This meant that Zhao Feng didn't have the cultivation of a Great Origin Core realm, but his state of existence was stronger than most Great Origin Core realm sovereign lords. Furthermore, the faint bloodline power within Zhao Feng's body was much stronger than when he was in the Void Ocean Spiritual Palace. Even with a large amount of heart blood essence, the effect shouldn't be this fast. The skeletal division leader couldn't accept this reality. With such a powerful state of existence, the half-step true yuan within Zhao Feng's body surpassed others of the same cultivation. Skeletal division leader, what do you think? Zhao Feng smiled faintly. In terms of state of existence, he was much stronger than the skeletal division leader, so he didn't feel any pressure from the skeletal division leader. How is that possible? The skeletal division leader's head shook like a drum. Before this, its strength had increased dramatically, and it wanted to negotiate with Zhao Feng to change its identity as a slave. If possible, it wanted to follow Zhao Feng for a certain number of years. However, it found that it couldn't give Zhao Feng any pressure at all. Zhao Feng's bloodline had become much stronger. Skeletal division leader, I'll have to rely on you to strengthen the Ghost Corpse curse technique. Zhao Feng didn't mind squeezing out every bit of value from the skeletal division leader. Shua. The skeletal division leader returned to the 10,000 Ghost Pearl with a sad expression. Within the captain's room, Zhao Feng let out a breath. For now, he could still suppress the skeletal division leader. This was all thanks to the ancient dream realm. In the last 2 months, Zhao Feng could last 40 to 50 breaths in the ancient dream realm. As long as I can last 100 breaths, I'll try to walk and explore the ancient dream realm. Zhao Feng had a goal in his heart. As his bloodline and body became stronger, he found that the effect of absorbing the aura from the ancient dream realm was decreasing. In the past, every time he absorbed a wisp of the ancient dream realm aura, his bloodline and body would improve. But now, he needed to absorb at least a dozen portions of the ancient dream realm aura to feel any improvement. Right now, Zhao Feng could only rely on quantity to make up for the difference. The same was true for the heart blood essence. However, in just half a year, his state of existence had risen from the peak True Lord rank to the peak Great Origin Core realm. This would definitely shock the world. Several days later, the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship entered a nearby island zone. When the ship passed by an island zone, the Heaven-Earth Yuan Qi was like a flood and the sound of battle shook heaven and earth. What's going on? Everyone on the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship felt that something was wrong. The battle was too loud, as if a large battle had broken out. It's probably a battle between star-ranked sections. 2-star sects are definitely interfering, an old sailor said with a frightened face. 2-star sects? No one dared to imagine the situation in the island zone. Zhao Feng leapt onto the ship and slightly removed the god's spiritual eye as he looked into the distance. The god's spiritual eye allowed Zhao Feng's senses to expand countless times. Terrifying, the battle in the distance made Zhao Feng's heart shake. In that region, the experts of the 2-star sects fought until the mountains collapsed and the earth cracked, rivers overturned and seas were overturned. The most terrifying thing was, he could also feel the power of a void god realm king. Their every action caused the sky to change, and they were like gods that controlled the battlefield. Zhao Feng didn't dare to use his god's spiritual eye because he was scared of being sensed by a void god realm king. Let's go around this island zone. Zhao Feng's expression changed as he made up his mind. Even if they went around a bit further, Zhao Feng didn't want to participate in a battle between 2-star sections. The power of 2-star sects was terrifying and could rule over 10 zones similar to the Azure Flower continent. So, the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship tried to go around the island zone. That island zone is around the same size as the Azure Flower continent, but it's a battlefield between two star sections. Zhao Feng sighed in his heart. Back in the Azure Flower continent, the Scarlet Moon demonic religion was also a battle between two star sections. Captain, there's a group of people coming closer. Lulan Zhishui suddenly exclaimed. Zhao Feng focused his eyes and saw 10 some ships flying over from the distant sea of mist. The largest ship was of a higher grade than the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship. There were several hundred experts at the True Lord rank or higher in that group, and they were probably reinforcements from a 2-star sect. Go around them. It's too late. Lulan Zhishui's voice was filled with panic. So. More than a dozen figures flew out from the group, all of them at the Origin Core realm. 2 of them were even at the Great Origin Core realm. Late-stage Great Origin Core realm. Zhao Feng's expression changed dramatically. One had to know that Lord Husua and the Black-robed Sovereign Lord were both at the early-stage Great Origin Core realm, and the most were at the middle-stage Great Origin Core realm. One was at the middle-stage Great Origin Core realm, while the other was at the late-stage Great Origin Core realm. Shua. Zhao Feng also felt a soul-shaking aura from the largest ship. He estimated that this aura was at least at the half-step Void God realm. Who's there? A group from a 2-star sect surrounded the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship. Captain, what do we do? Lulan Zhishui's expression changed dramatically. She had never seen such a scene before. Zhao Feng felt bitter. He didn't think that he would be dragged into a battle between 2-star sections. Let's surrender. Zhao Feng's thoughts spun as he concealed his aura, making himself seem more like a normal half-step Origin Core realm. Everyone within the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship held their breaths. Seniors were just passing merchants. We don't want to be dragged into your clan's battle. Lulan Zhishui, who was more gentle, went up to talk. Passing merchants? The 5 mountain islands zone has been in chaos for several hundred years, and the nearby islands are all battlefields. No merchant has ever dared to pass through here. The late-stage Great Origin Core realm black-skinned elder said mockingly. We came from the Thousand Flow Islands zone and don't know the situation here. Lulan Zhishui quickly explained. Stop wasting time and take them down. The black-skinned elder snickered coldly and waved his hand. Experts flew up and took control of the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship. However, the black-skinned elder was slightly surprised to see that the person with the highest cultivation was only Zhao Feng, who was only at the half-step Origin Core realm. Therefore, he ordered people to take control of the ship and imprison Zhao Feng and company in a small hall in the middle of the ship. Chapter 596. On the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship. Zhao Feng, Lulan Zhishui, and company were trapped in a small hall. Lulan Zhishui's face was pale white, and the sailors were filled with fear. What awaited them was the unknown. What was unexpected was, after a while, the experts from the 2-star sect didn't come over to interrogate Zhao Feng and company. We're not spies from an enemy force. Let us out. A few crew members roared with all their might. Behave. If anyone yells again, don't blame me for sending you to the afterlife. The black-skinned elder's cold voice sounded. The black-skinned elder's cultivation had reached the late-stage Great Origin Core realm, and he was even stronger than the shirt-wearing Sovereign Lord and Lord Husua. Within the hall, the sailors returned to silence. Looks like the 2-star sect doesn't care about our identities. Zhao Feng's eyebrows furrowed as he started to think. If they didn't care about their identities and didn't kill them, what was their intention? There's one possibility. The skeletal division leader's voice sounded through the dark heart seed. What possibility? Zhao Feng realized that the situation wasn't good. The skeletal division leader had lived through the era of the Scarlet Moon demonic religion. Back then, the Azure Flower continent was the battlefield of the 2-star sections. Right at this moment. Get in. The black-skinned elder's voice sounded from outside. Zhao Feng scanned over with his spiritual sense and found that there were more captives being forced into the ship. The weakest of these captives was at the late-stage True Lord rank, while the majority were at the peak True Lord rank. There were even some at the half-step Origin Core realm. Half the time it took to make tea later. 50 to 60 people entered the ship one after another and were distributed to the various rooms of the ship. The six-ring palace is going too far. They've captured us unrelated people and sent us to be suicide squads. AI. The six-ring palace and the nine despair palace have been fighting for several hundred years, and this island zone has been destroyed. We're just unlucky to be caught in the crossfire. Cries of despair sounded from within the ship. Suicide squad? Hearing this, the hearts of Zhao Feng and company shook. Everyone finally understood why the experts from the two-star sects did not question them about their identities. In the end, they were all used as cannon fodder. Boo! I don't want to become cannon fodder. Some sobbing sounds came from within the ship. There was no lack of geniuses from certain sections. An atmosphere of fear and death enveloped the entire ship. Amongst the cannon fodder, there were 3 sovereigns at the origin core realm, 2 males and 1 female. The 2 men and 1 woman were a lonely youth, a one-armed old man, and a yellow-robed beauty. The one with the highest cultivation was the late-stage small origin core realm. The one-armed old man and the yellow-robed woman were both at the middle-stage small origin core realm. Li Yunya? Weren't you the once-in-a-thousand-years genius of the six-ring palace? Later on, I heard that you violated the rules of the sect and were punished to face the wall to reflect on your mistakes. Why did you? The yellow-robed beauty was bewildered as she looked at the lonely youth. The lonely young man was the Li Yunya that the yellow-clothed young woman spoke of. We are all people who are about to die. Is there a need to mention the schemes in the sect? Li Yunya looked desolate and numb. With Brother Li's talent, how can you give up so easily? Even cannon fodder has a 1 in 1,000 chance of survival. A light flashed through the one-armed old man's eyes. That's right. Let's team up and find a way out. The people within the ship started to become lively. The 3 sovereigns seemed to be the leaders of the captives. This was especially true for Li Yunya, who seemed to be quite famous and made everyone respect him. On the ocean, some more ships headed toward the six-ring palace's fleet. Those ships were basically escorting prisoners, and there were at least 1 or 2 venerables on each ship. With the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship as the center, there were more than a dozen captive ships. Among them, the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship was one of the stronger ones. Arg! Several screams sounded from one of the ships. A few of the captives were shot to death by experts of the six-ring palace with bows and divine weapons after they ran for only a few kilometers. If anyone tries to escape, kill all the people on board. A voice that seemed to come from hell sounded in the soul dimension. Instantly, the captive ships fell into a deathly silence. Many experts felt their souls suppressed, and the nearby heaven and earth Yuan Qi seemed to be confined. This aura, Zhao Feng felt his soul being suppressed, and he couldn't even move his intent. A half-step void god realm cultivator overseeing the battle. Don't think you can do anything. Li Yunya sighed lightly. Half-step void god realm. The captives couldn't help but take in cold breaths. Zhao Feng's heart shook. He estimated that the half-step void god realm would only need a thought to wipe the consciousness of normal sovereigns. After that, there were people in charge of controlling the void ocean ships on the captive ships. Zhao Feng and company were the original crew members of the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship, so they obviously controlled the ship. Zhao Feng, Lulan Zhishui, and company all entered the control room. Li Yunya and the other 2 sovereigns also entered the control room. This ship's defense should be strong, but I don't know how fast it can go. Li Yunya's eyes twinkled. If it goes all out, it should be slightly faster than normal sovereigns. Zhao Feng hit something. Let's go. Let's enter the battlefield. The black-skinned elder and several other great origin core realms floated behind the captive ships. Behind them was the true fleet of the six-ring palace. As for Zhao Feng and the other captives, they were the first wave of cannon fodder to charge into the enemy ranks. As a suicide squad. If they retreated, only death awaited them. If they fought with their lives on the line, there was still a chance of survival. According to the rules of the six-ring palace, as long as you can survive 3 suicide missions, you'll be officially accepted by the clan. The black-skinned elder smiled. 3 times? The hearts of the captives were filled with bitterness. The Suicide Squad was the first wave of cannon fodder, and their chance of survival was only 1 in 1,000. Of course, even if it was 1 in 1,000, there was still hope. It was better than retreating and certain death. Bush. More than a dozen captive ships flew toward the inner regions within a 10-mile radius. As the ships entered the inner regions, the air resistance and gravity increased. The target of the Six-Ring Palace was a 1-star sect, and there were some lakes nearby. The cannon fodder of the Six-Ring Palace is here. Everyone, get ready. Near the mountain gate, there were people from another 2-star sect, the 9 Absolute Palace, stationed there. There were many experts there. There's no way out. The black-skinned elder and a few other great origin core realms watched from the back of the captive ships. The experts of the Six-Ring Palace flew out and formed a half-circle behind the captive ships. Only after the Suicide Squad survived 1 or 2 rounds of attacks and charged into the mountain gate would they join the battle as the main force. More than a dozen captive ships charged toward the 9 Despair Palace like moths to a flame. There were 7 to 8 great primal core realms and dozens of small primal core realms on the 9 Despair Palace's side. Apart from that, there were also several thousand half-step origin core realms, true lord ranks, true mystic realms, and true human ranks. Facing the killing intent from the battlefield, some of the captives trembled and their bodies went limp. The sky was filled with dazzling lights that came from the mountain gate and engulfed the captive warships. This was only the first round of attacks. More than half of the ships in the void ocean were shattered, some even exploding. Kill. Some of the captives charged out of the ships. Boom. The explosion of a normal ship was enough to threaten the lives of normal sovereigns. Wang, the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship that Zhao Feng and company were on, was completely fine after the first wave of attacks. The defense of this ship is stronger than I imagined. Li Yunya and the other 2 sovereigns were surprised. There were some high-quality ships among the dozen or so, and the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship was one of the best. So, after the first wave of attacks, only half of the ships made it to the entrance. However, at the same time, a large number of experts from 9 Despair Palace charged out of the mountain gate. Arg! Blood-curdling screams were heard continuously. It was a complete massacre. Whether it was the level of experts or the number of experts on the 9 Absolute Palace's side, they all killed these suicide squads in seconds. Boom. More ships exploded as the captives fought back against the experts from the 9 Despair Palace. There were also a small number of cannon fodder that managed to escape, but they were killed by the experts from the Six-Ring Palace. A murderous aura filled the entire battlefield. Don't just sit here and wait for death. No matter how strong the ship is, it will still be broken. Li Yunya organized the captives to fight back against the experts from the 9 Despair Palace. Boom. The Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship shook violently under the attacks. Captain, the defensive array has been broken. Lulan Jishue exclaimed. Seeing this, the captives flew out in fear of the ship exploding, but many of them were instantly killed. A mocking smile appeared on Zhao Feng's face. With the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship's defense, it could at least last a few dozen breaths. Of course, he wouldn't allow the ship to be damaged. Set up the array. Zhao Feng stood on the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship and summoned 30 to 40 cursed ghost corpses, which formed a dark mist that covered an area of 100 yards. This way, the attacks from the outside were weakened by more than half by the ghost corpses array, and the threat to the ship was greatly reduced. What a unique ghost corpses array! The eyes of Li Yunya and company lit up as they met up with Zhao Feng. Even if there were only 30 or 40 cursed ghost corpses, their power was not to be underestimated and could even threaten a venerable. After all, Zhao Feng's cursed ghost corpses were extremely strong, and they had absorbed the blood and soul essences of many sovereigns, including the whale. Arg! 2 supremacies and several half-step primal core realm cultivators of the 9 Despair Hall accidentally entered the cursed ghost corpse cursed formation and died under the attacks of Li Yunya and the other 2 supremacies. Another 2 sovereigns. This battlefield is a good place to harvest blood essence. The skeletal division leader's voice sounded. In order to hide his strength, Zhao Feng only summoned a portion of the cursed ghost corpses and didn't let the skeletal division leader come out. However, Li Yunya and company could clearly see that the ghost corpses array had absorbed the blood essence of the Sovereign of Death, and the hatred it radiated was even stronger. Boom! Boom! At this moment, the two two-star sects clashed. Of the captives, only Zhao Feng's Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship was unharmed. However, less than half of the captives were still alive. Chapter 597. On the battlefield, the battle between the two two-star forces shook heaven and earth. Amongst the captives, Zhao Feng's Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship stood out and withstood wave after wave of attacks. After the two sovereigns from the Nine Despair Palace died in the Ghost Corpse cursed array, the existence of the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship attracted the attention of the two sections. I didn't see it correctly. The eyes of the black-skinned elder from the Six-Ring Palace lit up. The young captain of the ship had displayed exceptional abilities and teamed up with the other three sovereigns. Not only had the ship survived, but it had also killed the enemy and rendered meritorious service. Of course, this meant that the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship attracted more firepower from the Nine Despair Palace. The mist covering the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship started to weaken, and the ship started to shake. The crew on the Blue Sea Sky ship couldn't stand steadily. Luckily, the ship has been strengthened. Lulan Jishui inspected the ship and found that there was no obvious damage. It was mainly because Zhao Feng's Ghost Corpse cursed array had taken on some of the pressure, and the other three sovereigns had also taken on some of the firepower. Shua! Shua! Zhao Feng waved the array flag and summoned the gray mist around him to form a defense. Apart from that, he increased the number of cursed ghost corpses to 50. We can't get caught in the middle of the battlefield. Zhao Feng suppressed his urge to kill the enemy and made the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship leave the center of the battlefield. Boom! Boom! However, the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship was still attacked by several dozen experts led by four sovereigns. Captain Zhao, with the power of your ship, there's hope that we can get out of the battlefield. Hope appeared in the eyes of Li Yunya and the other two sovereigns. With the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship's power and the protection of the Ghost Corpse cursed array, no one apart from a few great origin core realms could do anything to them. It's not time yet? Zhao Feng shook his head. He could feel that the experts from Six-Ring Palace were watching the Blue Sea Sky ship's every move, including the late-stage Great Origin Core Realm Elder. Even the powerful divine sense of the hidden half-step King Warrior had briefly scanned this area. When the war starts and the experts from both sides join in, that will be the best opportunity. Zhao Feng had a plan in mind. At the stage, he had to control the situation and not let the Blue Sea Sky ship fall into the whirlpool of the battlefield. Secondly, on the basis of keeping a low profile, Xiaochen would kill as many primal core venerates as possible to increase the number of cursed corpses. Master, the 100 Corpses cursed formation has already devoured the essence and souls of around 10 venerable realm experts. The skeletal division leader within the 10,000 Ghost Pearl was extremely excited. As long as the 100 cursed corpses could devour and absorb the remnant souls of 100 venerables, its power would definitely reach a whole new level. On the battlefield, the number of experts from the two two-star forces was increasing. Another enemy supreme expert's blood-curdling scream came from within the dark clouds. His body festered into a pool of blood and was absorbed by the Great Ghost Corpse formation. In fact, this was the result of Zhao Feng keeping a low profile. As long as the enemy venerables didn't barge into the Ghost Corpse's formation, he wouldn't kill them. That ship's weird. The sovereigns from the Nine Despair Palace surrounded the Blue Sea Sky ship and kept their distance as they attacked. They thought that as long as they didn't get close to the ship, there was nothing to fear. Zhao Feng snickered coldly. Speed up. Get close. Lulan Jishui, who was within the ship, received the order and started to move. The speed and agility of the Blue Sea Sky ship made others click their tongues. One of the half-step origin core realms and several true lord ranks were smashed into pieces by the ship. Even I want to come out and slaughter them. The skeletal division leader within the 10,000 Ghost Pearl couldn't hold back. Zhao Feng rolled his eyes. Every time he ordered the Blue Sea Sky ship to move, it would be like walking on thin ice. It couldn't enter the whirlpool of the battlefield or leave. Because up until now, both sides had only sent in a portion of their experts and hadn't gone all out. Zhao Feng had to wait until both sides were busy fighting before thinking about escaping. Luckily, as time passed, the Six Ring Palace's offense was getting better and was increasing their forces. One had to admit, Zhao Feng's ship had played a role in the Suicide Squad, giving the Six Ring Palace a good start and pushing the direction of the battlefield. If I can kill more sovereigns and stall some sovereign lords, the Six Ring Palace will make up their mind to attack. Zhao Feng's heart moved. Get closer to the center of the battlefield. Zhao Feng waved the array flag and ordered. Being the captain, the sailors followed his orders. Brother Zhao, how can you do this? You've finally left the center of the battlefield, but you're going to get closer to the center. The expressions of the other two sovereigns, the one-armed old man and the girl in yellow, changed dramatically. It wasn't easy for them to survive the first few rounds of attacks from the cannon fodder and escape from the center of the battlefield. Now, they had to fight their way back to the center of the battlefield. If you want to live, listen to me. Zhao Feng said coldly. Capture him. The yellow-shirted girl's face was grim as she leapt towards Zhao Feng, who was holding the array flag. Zhao Feng snickered coldly without any fear and was about to attack. His shoulders suddenly sank. Meow meow. The silver-gray afterimage flashed and disappeared in the void. In the next instant, the girl in yellow's expression changed and her body froze. Shwa. A translucent, mysterious dagger that was as dark as a shadow rested on her neck. She moved slightly and a bloody mark was left on her neck. A cold sensation seeped into her bones and soul. Have mercy. The yellow-robed beauty was frightened. From the corner of her eye, she saw a cunning silver-gray kitten on her shoulder. So fast. How did it do that? The strongest of the three sovereigns, Li Yunya, couldn't help but take a cold breath. He couldn't even see the little thieving cat's movements. When the little thieving cat attacked, it seemed to flicker through the void. Very good, little thieving cat. Next time, if anyone tries anything, kill them without my orders. Zhao Feng gave a satisfied smile. Over the past half a year, the little thieving cat had absorbed the ancient dream realm aura with him and used the heart-blood essence. Even Zhao Feng didn't know how the little thieving cat's abilities had changed. Meow meow. The little thieving cat's figure flashed and disappeared. A silver blur was left in the air. In the next instant, the little thieving cat had returned to the ancient metal ring. Get closer. Zhao Feng waved the array flag and the Blue Sea Sky ship moved closer to the center of the battlefield. As expected, this way, the Blue Sea Sky ship attracted more and more firepower. However, at this moment, Zhao Feng wasn't restricted to the ghost boundaries anymore. Wings of wind and lightning. A pair of faint purple wings of wind and lightning formed behind Zhao Feng's back and created a strong gust of wind and lightning. Shwa, shwa, pala. The wings of wind and lightning flapped and brought Zhao Feng close to an origin core realm sovereign near the ghost boundaries. Blade of purple destruction. A faint purple blade that was as thin as a cicada's wing condensed in Zhao Feng's palm. A layer of purple destruction wind lightning appeared on its surface, and the aura of destruction was condensed. Shwa. The origin core realm sovereign barely circulated his true yuan to protect himself, but his body was still sliced in two. Arg! As Zhao Feng waved the array flag, the bloody corpse was engulfed by the ghost corpse cursed fire and engulfed by it. Leave that brat behind. The nearby origin core realm sovereigns finally reacted. However, the wings of wind and lightning behind Zhao Feng flapped once more and he returned to the ghost corpse cursed array. The entire process only took one breath. Wind lightning kill. Before I got close, my blade of purple destructions had already been ready. Zhao Feng easily killed a sovereign and returned to the ghost corpse cursed array. Li Yunya and the other three sovereigns' hearts shook. This was especially true for the yellow-robed beauty, who felt a lingering fear. Under Zhao Feng's orders, the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship circled around the center of the battlefield, but it didn't actually get involved. Zhao Feng wasn't satisfied with killing enemies in the Ghost Corps cursed array. Once an enemy sovereign got close, he would kill them without hesitation. 2 more sovereigns were slain by Zhao Feng. The power of the curse from the Ghost Corps cursed array became more terrifying. The nearby sovereigns no longer dared to get close to the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship. "Let me." An Origin Core Realm male in black armor from the 9 Despair Hall held a halberd and charged toward Zhao Feng. Great Origin Core Realm. The expressions of Li Yunya and company changed dramatically. They didn't think that they could fight against a Great Origin Core Realm by themselves. "Prepare to retreat," Zhao Feng ordered, and the defensive array of the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship was activated to the maximum. Shua. At the same time, he waved the black flag and increased the number of cursed ghost corpses to 60. "Let's attack together." Zhao Feng summoned a surge of dark flames that turned into a large dragon that charged toward the black-armored male. At the same time, Li Yunya and company all used their secret techniques to fight against the black-armored male. 10-direction destruction. The black-armored Great Origin Core Realm's halberd slashed through the air, causing the environment to change dramatically as the halberd swept across the sky. Before the attack even arrived, its power had already sealed heaven and earth. Everyone on the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship felt suffocated. Boom. The Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship shook and was pushed back half a mile. What? The one-armed elder and the girl in yellow instantly spat out a mouthful of blood. Li Yunya's strength wasn't bad. Under the cover of the Ghost Corps cursed array, his blood started to boil. Half of the dark flames formed by the Ghost Corps cursed array instantly dissipated. However, what surprised everyone was that Zhao Feng, who was at the half-step Origin Core Realm, wasn't injured. A ripple of water surrounded his body, allowing him to remain unharmed in the Ghost Corps cursed array. Ice Imperial Spear. Zhao Feng suddenly threw the array flag to the side and circulated his ice-water bloodline. A series of ice lotuses shot toward the black-armored Great Origin Core Realm with the terrifying coldness of the Ice Emperor. Just as the two were curious about why Zhao Feng threw the array flag aside, meow meow. The little thieving cat appeared once more and grabbed the array flag to control the Ghost Corps cursed array. Hoopa! The resentful power of the ghost corpses in the shape of cat claws surrounded the black-armored man from all directions. They were burning with flames and looked alive. The claws of the ghost corpses surrounded the black-armored male. "Fuck this cat?" The skeletal division leader in the 10,000 Ghost Pearl was stunned. The array flag was given to the little thieving cat to control. This meant that Zhao Feng, Li Yunya, and the other 2 sovereigns had battle power equivalent to 4 sovereigns. On top of that, Zhao Feng's state of existence and body were close to the peak Great Origin Core Realm, and his bloodline power was becoming stronger. The power of the Ice Imperial Spear was enough to crush those at the small Origin Core Realm and threaten those at the Great Origin Core Realm. Chapter 598. Near the center of the battlefield on the Blue Sea Sky ship, the 4 captives teamed up to fight back against the black-armored Sovereign Lord. Ice Imperial Spear. After giving the array flag to the little thieving cat, Zhao Feng circulated his bloodline power and waved the Ice Imperial Spear. A large wave of crystal-like spear images released a forbidden coldness that froze the area. At the same time, the wings of wind and lightning formed behind Zhao Feng's back, and wisps of purple destruction wind lightning formed a tornado of ice and lightning that charged toward the black-armored Sovereign Lord. Apart from his eye bloodline, Zhao Feng's battle power was also released, and he became the main force against the Great Origin Core Realm. Li Yunya and company were stunned, and they used all their power to fight back against the black-armored Sovereign Lord. It's a rare ancient inheritance weapon. The black-armored Sovereign Lord's eyes squinted. Even with his middle-stage Great Origin Core Realm cultivation, he wasn't able to take down these cannon fodder in a short amount of time. How could he have any face left? 10-direction battling the heavens. The black-armored supremacy waved his halberd again, and his offensive power increased greatly. The cold and sinister halberd light covered the blue sea sky ship in a domineering manner. Boom, boom. The blue sea sky ship started to shake, and the gray clouds nearby started to crumble. The attacks of Zhao Feng's group of 4 instantly crumbled, shattered, and suppressed. Meow meow. The little thieving cat waved the array flag and summoned surges of power from the Ghost Corp's cursed array. Some of it was used to counterattack, while the rest was used to repair the gaps. Up until now, the Ghost Corp's cursed formation had a deep foundation, and those cursed corpses were of high quality. They had absorbed the essence energy of many supreme experts and endlessly provided the formation with source energy. This array is troublesome. The black-armored sovereign lord's eyebrows furrowed. Although he had the advantage, he couldn't do anything to the blue sea sky ship in a short amount of time. I've only used 2/3 of the cursed ghost corpses. Zhao Feng nodded his head as the wings of wind and lightning flapped behind him and used the cover of the Ghost Corp's cursed array to counterattack. He had improved a lot over the past half a year, and his battle power was close to the Great Origin Core realm even without using his eye bloodline. In the eyes of the experts from the 2 great 2-star sects, being able to do this was already shocking. TSK, I didn't expect a random passerby to be so useful. The black-faced old man supervising the battle from the rear of the 6-ring palace was very surprised. The blue sea sky ship was cannon fodder, but it stalled a Great Origin Core realm in the center of the battlefield. This affected the situation. All-out attack. The voice of the half-step king from the 6-ring palace shook the soul dimension as he gave the order. The 6-ring palace's side would naturally not let go of such a good opportunity. The 2 2-star camps were investing more and more experts and troops. Zhao Feng was secretly delighted. This was exactly the result he wanted. The chaotic situation allowed him to advance and retreat freely. However, the black-faced old man from the 6-ring palace still cautiously maintained a distance from the blue sea sky ship. Brat, if we can win this battle, the 6-ring palace can remove your status as a captive and even make you one of us. The black-faced elder sent a spiritual sense message, throwing an olive branch to Zhao Feng. It's a deal. Zhao Feng pretended to be overjoyed and put in more effort to fight the black-armored sovereign lord. A cold intent appeared on the black-faced old man's face as he laughed. This brat's ghost corpse cursed array and inheritance weapon aren't bad. Once the battle is over, he'll be a lamb waiting to be slaughtered. Of course, at this critical moment, Zhao Feng was still very useful. As time passed, the battle between the 2 camps had reached its climax. Both sides were entangled with each other. Zhao Feng was extremely calm and only used 2/3 of his ghost corpse cursed array. He didn't even let the skeletal division leader fight. He didn't listen to the black-faced old man's promise. It's about time. Zhao Feng made the blue lightning sea sky ship circle around the center of the battlefield. The black-armored sovereign lord chased after him for a long time, but they couldn't do anything to each other. On the other hand, the blue lightning sea sky ship made the situation even more chaotic. The Ghost Corp's cursed array around the blue lightning sea sky ship swallowed some true lord ranks and half-step Origin Core realms. Those below the Origin Core realm would turn into a puddle of blood if touched by the power of the curse. At the very end, Zhao Feng didn't even care about friend or foe. As long as the timing was right, the nearby experts of the 6-ring palace would be swallowed by the Ghost Corp's cursed array. This was because the blue lightning sea sky ship was fighting against a Great Origin Core realm, and it could create the illusion of friendly fire. The black-faced old man from the 6-ring palace also joined the battle and didn't have time to care about Zhao Feng. After killing 2 or 3 more sovereigns, the number of sovereigns killed by the curse array will reach 20. The skeletal division leader's heart itched. Ever since the Ghost Corp's cursed array was created, it had devoured more than a dozen sovereigns. It had devoured the most sovereigns on this battlefield. On the 2-star battlefield, one didn't necessarily have to kill. The Ghost Corp's cursed array could devour the corpses of sovereigns that had just died. This is indeed a good chance. Zhao Feng couldn't help but look forward to it. He increased the number of ghost corpses to 70 and expanded the range of the array. The black-armored sovereign lord felt the pressure increase, and he was unable to control the situation. At the beginning, he was still able to suppress the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship and force it to retreat. But now, he was being led by the nose by the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship. Wait, the black-armored sovereign lord wasn't dumb. It wasn't hard for him to see that Zhao Feng was devouring the sovereigns and half-step origin core realm sovereigns to increase the power of the array. How dare you! He's using the 2-star battlefield to increase the power of the Ghost Corpse's array. The black-armored sovereign lord was shocked and angry. However, the 9 Despair Palace was being suppressed by the 6 Ring Palace. The half-step Void God realm from the 6 Ring Palace suppressed the 2 peak Great Origin core realms of the 9 Despair Palace. If it wasn't for the fact that the 9 Despair Palace had the protection of the defensive array, the situation would have already collapsed. Captain Zhao. This chaotic moment is perfect for us to sneak out of the battlefield, Li Yunya suggested with a cautious expression. The battle had reached this point. Li Yunya and the other 2 Origin Core realms were injured, and their Yuan Qi had dissipated. They didn't have Zhao Feng's state of existence, and the defensive and healing power of the water bloodline allowed Zhao Feng to be fine. It's about time. Zhao Feng nodded his head slightly, although he was slightly unwilling. The 2-star battlefield was a good chance for him to devour sovereigns and increase the power of the Ghost Corpse cursed array. However, he also understood the current situation. Once the battle ended, he wouldn't be able to stop either side. Turn left and retreat to the outside, Zhao Feng ordered. He pretended that his bloodline power wasn't enough and ordered the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship to retreat. That brat's cultivation isn't even at the Origin Core realm. How can his true Yuan and bloodline last? The heart of the black-armored sovereign lord shook as he released his battle power. Boom! The dark clouds around the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship started to shatter. Zhao Feng and company fought as they retreated. Not long after. Where do you think you're going? The Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship escaped to the edge of the battlefield, and the black-armored sovereign lord chased after it. He couldn't help but feel excited when he thought about how he would be able to take over such a powerful Ghost Corpse cursed array. Increase speed. Zhao Feng snickered coldly in his heart as he told the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship to unleash its true speed. So, the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship left the battlefield in a streak of water and lightning. That flying speed shocked some of the experts from both sides who had sensed it. Die. Being a Great Origin Core realm, the black-armored sovereign lord was even faster. After all, the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship's fastest speed was only close to the Great Origin Core realm. This Great Origin Core realm sovereign lord is chasing us. It'll be hard for us to escape. Li Yunya and the other 2 sovereigns couldn't help but complain. If this continued, they wouldn't be able to escape the pursuit of a Great Origin Core realm. Captain Zhao, why don't we split up? Our chances of survival will be higher, one of the one-armed elders suggested. The one-armed elder and the girl in yellow could both tell that the black-armored sovereign lord's target was Zhao Feng and the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship. Whatever. Zhao Feng was expressionless. He didn't care about the 2 injured sovereigns since they had already escaped the center of the battlefield. On the other hand, Li Yunya's eyes twinkled, but he didn't make a decision. So, the one-armed old man and the yellow-robed beauty fled the Sea Heavenly ship separately. As expected, the black-armored sovereign lord chose the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship and didn't bother with them. The one-armed elder and the girl in yellow let out a breath. They had finally escaped the shadow of death. However, before the 2 of them could calm down, a vast and boundless might of heaven and earth came from behind them. The surrounding natural environment was suddenly overturned and dyed with a layer of scarlet clouds. What? The expressions of the 2 changed dramatically as they saw the black-skinned elder rushing over. The black-skinned elder was at the late-stage Great Origin Core realm, and he was much stronger than the black-armored sovereign lord. Scarlet Cloud Hand. The black-faced old man slapped the air, and from the crimson clouds in the surroundings, a huge crimson cloud hand of light surged out. The fiery light was brilliant, and it dyed half the world. The girl in yellow screamed as the scarlet cloud hand seemed to contain the power of nature and sealed the area she was in. The girl in yellow's body was crushed by the scarlet cloud hand. Have mercy. The remaining one-armed old man was suppressed by the crimson clouds in this part of the world. It was as if his body had sunk into a swamp, and every movement he made was extremely strenuous. The black-skinned elder's strength was much stronger than normal Great Origin Core Realm Sovereign Lords. If it was him chasing them earlier, they probably wouldn't have been able to survive until now. All deserters will be killed without mercy. The black-skinned elder was emotionless as the scarlet cloud hand crushed the one-armed elder into dust. The two sovereigns were as weak as babies in front of him. In that direction. The black-skinned elder spread out his spiritual sense and confirmed the direction of the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship and the other Great Origin Core realm. On the battlefield, the high-end forces of the Six-Ring Palace had quite the advantage. As the commander supervising the battle, he had the time to chase after the deserters. If he could kill the enemy sovereign lord as well, it would be the best of both worlds. In the limitless ocean, near the two-star battlefield, a tall, silent, and cold shadow figure floated over from afar like a specter of death. Although his speed seemed slow, he was several times faster than normal Great Origin Core realms. At that instant, the Rift Ocean fell into a dead silence. Two-star battlefield? Do you think you can escape by hiding in the middle of the battlefield? Chapter 599. Over the continent, whoosh! The Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship sped through the sky above the shattered mountains and rivers. The black-armored sovereign lord laughed and chased after them. On the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship, only Zhao Feng and Li Yunye were on the defensive. Why aren't you running? Zhao Feng's expression was calm. He didn't panic at all under the pursuit of a Great Origin Core realm. Run? I can't run, and I don't want to run. Li Yunye shook his head. Zhao Feng couldn't help but be curious. His mental energy senses were much stronger than Li Yunye's, and he could sense the fall of the other two sovereigns. If it weren't for Captain Zhao, I would have become cannon fodder already. Furthermore, with the Army of Death supervisor in the Six-Ring Palace, no one has ever escaped from him. Li Yunye said bitterly. Army of Death supervisor? The emotionless face of the black-skinned elder appeared in Zhao Feng's mind. No wonder. Zhao Feng understood that the Army of Death supervisor was the black-skinned elder, and he wouldn't let any of them go. Brat, how dare you get distracted while being chased by me? The black-armored sovereign lord exclaimed and waved his halberd. A cold shadow of the halberd covered the sky and the earth, and the environment changed. It was as if 1,000,000 pieces of metal had fallen into the shroud of killing intent. Boom. Ding. The ghost corpse cursed formation's gray smoke was split into pieces and was about to dissipate. A mark was left on the surface of the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship. What? Li Yunye spat out a mouthful of blood, and his face went pale white. Zhao Feng's blood churned and a ripple appeared on the surface of his body, but he was completely fine. Even if the Army of Death supervisor didn't appear, we wouldn't have been able to escape. Li Yunye's eyes were filled with helplessness and bitterness. Thinking back, he was a once-in-a-thousand-years genius of the Six-Ring Palace, and he had broken through to the late-stage Small Origin Core realm at the age of 30. Death? Zhao Feng stood on the Blue Sea Sky ship, and his heart jumped as he looked in the direction of the outside world. Thump. The sense of danger suddenly became 10 times stronger, and it was getting closer and closer. Death. In the end, it still came. Zhao Feng let out the long sigh. Most of his attention was on the outer realm. Junior, you should also understand the consequences of death. Previously, you played me for a fool. The black-armored man roared with laughter. The power of a Great Origin Core realm suppressed the entire Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship. Li Yunye's face was filled with despair. He had completely given up. However, he noticed that the youth beside him had an unusual expression and was much calmer than him. Even the crew of the ship did not panic too much. Your hair and eyes, Li Yunye's gaze focused as he suddenly noticed the abnormality in Zhao Feng's body. Whoosh! Zhao Feng's blue hair fluttered in the wind, and his left eye was like a bottomless lake. At this moment, Zhao Feng's left eye had already sensed a large figure of death approaching the continent of the inner zone from the direction of the outside world. In at most 30 breaths of time, the shadow of death would arrive. Death hunt. The eye of death within Zhao Feng's soul started to twitch. Eye bloodline? Useless struggle. The black-armored sovereign lord laughed mockingly as he swung his halberd toward the blue lightning sea sky ship and enveloped Zhao Feng and Li Yunya. Set up the array. A skeleton suddenly appeared next to Zhao Feng. The skeleton was as dark as ink and had gold and silver lines on it. It gave off a cold aura. There's another person? Li Yunya hiccuped. The skeletal division leader was also at the late-stage small origin core realm, but its aura was terrifying. At the same instant, shwa, the number of cursed ghost corpses suddenly increased to 100. A large cloud of ghost flames that radiated a shocking power of resentment turned into several 100-yard-wide claws of resentment as the little thieving cat waved its hand. The claws of resentment leaped toward the black-armored sovereign lord along with countless white and bloody hands. Descent of the Ice Empress. Zhao Feng circulated his bloodline power to the maximum, and the Ice Imperial Spear released an aura of destruction. What was even more incredible was that the figure of an ancient Ice Empress appeared above Zhao Feng's head. Take this. The skeletal division leader suddenly turned into a flaming bone giant and thrust out its palm toward the black-armored sovereign lord. 100 cursed ghost corpses. Descent of the Ice Empress. Flaming bone giant. Boom. 3 terrifying forces were unleashed at the same time, and they collided with the black-armored High Lord. Instantly, a taboo storm swept through everything within a radius of 12 miles, razing everything within 12 miles to the ground. For the next several hundred years, nothing would grow here, and it would become a cursed forbidden ground. Bam! The black-armored sovereign lord groaned as his body flew back, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. How could this be? The black-armored sovereign lord's face went white as he exclaimed in disbelief. Both the Cursed Array and the skeletal division leader had released power that could threaten those at the Great Origin Core realm. Even Zhao Feng's Ice Imperial Spear had used the power of the ancient Ice Empress just then. The sudden counterattack caught the black-armored sovereign lord off guard, and he was injured. So strong. What's the background of this young captain and the people on this ship? Li Yunya was shocked and tongue-tied. Just as the black-armored sovereign lord was in shock and didn't know what to do, they're close. Zhao Feng's left eye looked toward the direction of the outside world and murmured to himself, as if he was slightly uneasy, "Master, another Great Origin Core realm sovereign lord seems to have arrived." The skeletal division leader sensed something. He was referring to the dark-faced old man, the Death Overseer, who was closing in from behind. "I need to kill one first, or else it'll be troublesome." The skeletal division leader's expression became solemn. Zhao Feng nodded his head faintly as his left eye locked onto the black-armored sovereign lord. Eye bloodline? What a terrifying eye bloodline aura. Li Yunya, who was standing on the side, felt an uneasy pressure. Void space eye slash. Zhao Feng instantly used his eye bloodline technique. Shwa. Blood splattered everywhere. The black-armored sovereign lord's body froze, and fear appeared on his face. "You." The black-armored sovereign lord's voice was hoarse as he instinctively looked down, only to see a meter-long blade surrounded by wisps of purple destruction energy pierced through the black-armored sovereign lord's heart. "Sii." Li Yunya's hair stood on end, and he couldn't help but take in a cold breath. Waves crashed in his heart as he looked at the youth captain next to him. At this moment, both the inside and outside of the ship were dead silent. Zhao Feng's void space eye slash is even stronger than when he used it in the Purple Saint Ruins. The skeletal division leader also had a solemn expression. Plop. The black-armored sovereign lord's body fell from the sky. Li Yunya let out a breath, but his heart wasn't able to calm down. From his point of view, that youth had killed a Great Origin Core realm sovereign lord with just one glance. Shwa. The little thieving cat smiled and waved the array flag, summoning clouds of smoke that engulfed the black-armored sovereign lord's body. Zhao Feng then waved his hand and took the spoils of war from the Great Origin Core realm. So, the sound of flying came from afar as the black-skinned elder arrived. The black-skinned elder scanned the area and was surprised when he didn't see the black-armored sovereign lord. He had felt the aura of a Great Origin Core realm from the black-armored sovereign lord, but it was gone now. Did you kill him? The black-skinned elder scanned the black-armored sovereign lord with his spiritual sense and found that the black-armored sovereign lord's body had turned into a puddle of blood that increased the power of the ghost corpse cursed array. This scene shocked him quite a bit, and he immediately put up his guard. Old man, you're next. The skeletal division leader laughed and waved its baleful flames of death toward the black-armored sovereign lord. Descent of the Ice Empress. The figure of an ancient Ice Empress appeared above Zhao Feng's head, and the Ice Empress spear released a layer of crystal blue light that radiated an aura of destruction as it created a tornado of ice and lightning. Meow meow. The little thieving cat waved the array flag, and the ghost corpse cursed array attacked the black-skinned elder from two sides, complementing Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader's attacks. This time, the combined might of the three was even greater than the previous one. Scarlet Cloud Hand. The black-faced old man's expression froze. The surrounding heaven and earth were engulfed by a layer of scarlet red cloud light. The heaven and earth's yuan qi underwent a drastic change, and a huge scarlet cloud light hand surged out. The fiery light was brilliant, and it dyed half the world. Boom! That scarlet cloud hand of light carried with it the power of the natural fire elements of this part of the world. It suppressed everything within a radius of half a kilometer, turning the surroundings into a world of burning fire clouds. The two powers clashed in the air for a breath or two. Bam! The blue lightning sea sky ship was pushed back several hundred yards and smashed into a mountain. More than half of the mist covering the ship was destroyed. Crack! One or two of the skeletal division leader's bones were broken. What? Zhao Feng spat out a mouthful of blood, and a ripple of blue light appeared on his body as his injuries healed. What exquisite mastery of the fire element! Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader were stunned. The black-skinned elder's cultivation had reached the late-stage Great Origin Core realm, and his fire bloodline wasn't any weaker than Zhao Feng's. This Death Army supervisor is ranked in the top 5 of the Origin Core realm sovereign lords of the Six Ring Palace, and he has a powerful fire elemental inheritance. Li Yunya reminded him through his spiritual sense. Shua! The black-skinned elder's figure flashed and he retreated several hundred yards with furrowed eyebrows. Although he wasn't injured in that attack just now, he felt uncomfortable as if something disgusting had been stained. Just two people, one at the half-step Origin Core realm and the other at the Origin Core realm, are able to block an attack with 70% of my strength. The black-skinned elder sighed. 70% of his strength? Zhao Feng felt weird. Why did he feel like this elder was being too pretentious? However, right now, Zhao Feng didn't have the time to think about all this. A strong sense of danger was quickly approaching, and it started to resonate with the eye of death's eye intent in his soul. Right at this moment, whoosh, a gloomy, shadowy ray of light came from the distant outer space. It pierced through the azure barrier, creating beautiful sparks as it approached. The intent of death. I'm coming. A voice sounded in Zhao Feng's mind. Who's there? The black-skinned elder and company also sensed something. Li Yunya and the crew felt a suffocating aura of death, which made them shudder in fear. Sorry, but my reinforcements are here. Expert of the Six Ring Palace, you're about to die. Zhao Feng said regretfully. Chapter 600. Reinforcements? The black-skinned elder's expression changed as he sensed something. Whoosh, a dark, shadow-like ray of light pierced through the outer space and rapidly approached them. He believed 70 to 80% of Zhao Feng's words. This was because Zhao Feng had been paying attention to the outer dimension even earlier than him. It was clear that he had some sort of connection with the reinforcements. What a shocking aura of death. This person's cultivation has at least reached the peak Great Origin Core realm. The black-skinned elder's heart clenched. However, he snickered coldly and showed no signs of retreating. Shwa! With a flash of scarlet light, the black-skinned elder charged into the sky, and his aura of fire rose to a whole new level. His figure closed in on the shadow of death. He's going to? On the Blue Sea Sky ship, Zhao Feng and company felt a wave of heat, and their mouths went dry. Scarlet cloud explosion. The black-faced old man was like a resplendent burning crimson sun, erupting with rings of terrifying crimson fire cloud waves, layer upon layer, like a huge flaming mushroom cloud. Boom! Within a radius of several tens of kilometers, the glow of flames soared into the sky, and the mountains were razed to the ground. In his field of vision, the black-faced old man seemed to have transformed into an unrivaled sun. Vast and boundless fire elemental energy shook the distant battlefield. What a terrifying fire bloodline! On the Blue Sea Sky ship, the hearts of Zhao Feng and company jumped. Zhao Feng knew that even if he teamed up with the skeletal division leader and the 100 cursed corpses, they wouldn't be able to block this attack. At the same time, he admired the dark-faced old man's boldness and decisiveness. Facing the unknown and terrifying shadow of death, the other party did not even think before striking first to gain the upper hand. Scarlet cloud explosion. The resplendent blazing crimson sun erupted with layers of crimson flame clouds that piled up like a flaming mushroom cloud, shocking the world and swallowing the heavens and the earth. It leapt toward the shadow of death. This old man dares to attack the representative of death? That tall death shadow snorted coldly and streaked across the sky like a dark ray. His speed suddenly increased by a few times. Bang! The crimson and dark shadows clashed fiercely in the sky. The next moment, heaven and earth flickered as the aura of death and scarlet flames surged. All sounds were drowned out, exceeding the limits of one's hearing. Just some remnant might fell, and the mountains and rivers below melted away. Poof! Poof! The ghost corpse cursed array around the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship began to crumble, and the ship began to sway. Li Yunya spat out a mouthful of blood under the terrifying aura. This was even with the ghost corpse cursed formation, which reduced the remaining power by at least 30 to 40%. Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader panicked. The surface of Zhao Feng's body rippled with deep blue water, which dissolved the terrifying shockwave. This black-faced elder's strength is probably at the peak of the Great Origin Core realm. Zhao Feng opened his god's spiritual eye and looked into the distant sky. Scarlet cloud explosion? Not good. Elder Ways met a strong enemy, or else he wouldn't have used such a secret technique. The upper echelon of the Six-Ring Palace sensed something. Ding! Boom! The black-faced elder and the shadow of death clashed in the center of the mushroom cloud. The black-faced elder's attack was like a cloud of fire that crushed everything. As for the shadow of death, it was extremely strange and unpredictable. Old man, your strength isn't bad, but you've stopped my plan. A faint black dagger that looked like an illusory shadow suddenly appeared in the hand of the shadow of death, which was shrouded in black smoke. Shwa! The faint, illusory black sword flashed with a layer of shadow-like sword light that was filled with a soul-shocking cold aura of death. It pierced through the layers of crimson-red flames and stabbed the black-faced old man. The black-faced elder's body froze. Even though he tried his best to dodge, the black dagger still landed on his right shoulder. In an instant, the cold aura of death spread through his body, and it was enough to instantly kill normal Great Origin Core Realm sovereign lords. However, the black-faced elder wasn't someone to be trifled with. His bloodline power was on par with Zhao Feng's. The black-faced elder circulated his bloodline power, and with a flash of scarlet flames, his right arm was broken. He managed to escape with his life by cutting off one of his arms. Die! The figure of death's voice was cold as he closed in on the black-faced elder. My life is over. The black-faced elder's heart shook. The opponent's speed was much faster than his. In terms of offense, he had a strong fire bloodline and specialized in offense, so he wasn't much weaker than the opponent. However, the opponent also had that mysterious black dagger that contained the intent of death. It looked down on those at the Origin Core realm and could even attack Void God realm kings. Why would such a terrifying enemy appear on the 2-star battlefield? Your reinforcement strength is too monstrous. The Death Army supervisor couldn't even last 1 or 2 moves against him. Lianya took in a cold breath. Anyone below the Void God realm was basically unrivaled. Eye of Ice Soul. Zhao Feng suddenly roared, his left eye turning into a cold and gloomy lake. Instantly, an icy cold aura locked onto the death shadow. Only Zhao Feng's god spiritual eye could barely lock onto the figure of death. Over the past half a year, his state of existence and cultivation had increased dramatically, and his god's spiritual eye's lake had reached 100 yards. The figure of death's speed was slowed down by 10% to 20% under the Eye of Ice Soul. My god's spiritual eye and eye bloodline power can only slow him down by this much? Zhao Feng's heart dropped. The Eye of Ice Soul was his strongest control technique. If it locked onto a sovereign, their speed would become as slow as a turtle, and even normal Great Origin Core realms would be slowed down by half. Of course, slowing the figure of death by 10% to 20% also slowed down the figure of death's killing blow. Another gash was left on the black-skinned elder's back, and he groaned. What's going on? The black-skinned elder found that the person who saved his life was Zhao Feng. Isn't he your reinforcement? Li Yunya's face was filled with confusion. Boom, boom. However, at this moment of life and death, the black-skinned elder circulated his bloodline power and true yuan, and his body became like a sun as he charged toward the figure of death. He's too fast. If I run, I'll die in the next instant. If I try my best, I might be able to wait for reinforcements. The black-skinned elder was calm and determined. The two of them weren't on the same level. Even though the black-skinned elder was one of the top Great Origin Core realms in terms of both strength and mentality, he still couldn't compare to Li Yunya. No matter what you do, it's only a matter of time before you die. The faint black dagger in the shadow of death's hand flashed with a cold shadow light, and the aura of death was everywhere. The black-skinned elder screamed as blood splattered everywhere, and his body flew back dozens of yards. If it weren't for the fact that Zhao Feng's Eye of Ice Soul limited the figure of death's speed and agility, this sword would have taken his life. I can only use the Void Space Eye /3 or 4 more times. Zhao Feng's god spiritual eye was accumulating power. Because the figure of death's speed was too unpredictable, the Void Space Eye/'s success rate was lower than normal Great Origin Core realms. The reason why the Void Space Eye/ was able to instantly kill the black-armored Sovereign Lord was because the latter was injured and hadn't recovered yet. Shwa. The figure of death closed in, and the third sword slashed toward the black-skinned elder. The aura of death had invaded the black-skinned elder's body, and his injuries were several times worse than they looked. At this moment, Zhao Feng's heart rate sped up. Once the black-skinned elder was killed, he would be next. Stop! A soul-shaking voice seemed to come from hell, and an irresistible faux god will surged over. In that instant, the heaven-earth yuan qi in the surrounding space seemed to have frozen. An invisible force pressed down on the soul dimension. Half-step void god intent. The figure of death's attack paused once more. At this moment, the half-step void god realm several hundred miles away sent out his void god intent toward the figure of death. If it was a normal sovereign, their souls would most likely shatter under this death intent. Even normal Great Origin Core realms would be stunned, and their minds might even be injured. The black-skinned elder managed to escape once more, and he glared at Zhao Feng on the ground. Of course, he was angry, but he also felt lucky. If it weren't for Zhao Feng's Eye of Ice Soul and Void God intent, he wouldn't have been able to survive until now. A measly half-step Void God intent wants to deal with me? The Death Shadow Warrior smiled proudly as a wave of death intent surged from the faint black dagger in his hand. It was overbearing and pure as it clashed against the Void God realm intent of the half-step king. Boom! The soul dimension power clashed together. Countless weak beings within a radius of 500 kilometers were instantly scared out of their wits. Lulan Jishui and some of the sailors within the Blue Sea Sky ship fainted. Void God intent is unstoppable. A void god realm king can decide the life and death of those at the true spirit realm or origin core realm with just a thought. Those below the void god realm are all ants. A ripple appeared on Zhao Feng's eye bloodline lake. Luckily, his soul foundation was extremely strong, and the god's spiritual eye's uniqueness made it very resilient against mental attacks. For this reason, Zhao Feng had the easiest time fighting against the void god Intents. Intent of death, who are you? The half-step void god realm king from the Six Ring Palace's expression changed dramatically. Even though he had condensed half-step king warrior intent, it was blocked by the intent contained in his opponent's weapon. On top of that, the death intent from the weapon in the figure of death's hand started to invade his soul. Not good, my void god intent. The half-step void god realm king from the Six Ring Palace felt his mental energy being eroded by the aura of death, and his expression changed dramatically. Just when he was stuck between a rock and a hard place and the two foe god wills clashed, a blade suddenly pierced through the figure of death's body. Sii. The figure of death's figure trembled slightly. Shock and disbelief appeared on his face as he looked at the gradually dimming 1-meter-long illusory blade surrounded by strands of purple destruction aura. Void Space Eye Slash. Zhao Feng's strongest eye bloodline technique successfully pierced through the enemy's vitals at the critical moment of the clash. Shua. Wisps of black smoke started to rise from the figure of death's chest as an aura of destruction started to wreak havoc within his body. Even with his unique death body, he couldn't handle it. Chapter 601. Void Space Eye Slash. At the critical moment when the void god will crossed space and fought, the 3-foot-long blade pierced through the figure of death. Wisps of destructive aura of wind lightning wreaked havoc on his chest. Both friend and foe were stunned. That brat, could he be? At this point in time, how could the black-faced elder not know the truth? On one hand, he was shocked by Zhao Feng's terrifying eye bloodline, and on the other hand, he was filled with anger and humiliation from being used by Zhao Feng. A cold and mocking smile appeared on Zhao Feng's face. Both the black-skinned elder and the figure of death were experts that he couldn't handle. Under the delicate situation of the two-star battlefield, successfully forcing the two to fight and even forcing the other half-step king to make a move was already beyond Zhao Feng's expectations. Even if the Emperor of Death subordinates aren't at the Void God realm, they're still terrifying. Zhao Feng's left eye locked onto the figure of death. Whoosh, wisps of black smoke started to rise from the figure of death's chest, and an aura of destruction started to wreak havoc within his body. At the same time, the blade started to fade. The target of the pursuit of death is indeed not simple. The figure of death harumphed as his body froze. The void space eye slash had stabbed right into his heart, and an aura of destruction radiated from it. Under normal circumstances, anyone below the void god realm would definitely die. 1. The figure of death's body was like a half-transparent shadow that flashed in the air and gave off the illusion of overlapping shadows. On top of that, the injured area was switching between solid and shadow, and it was slowly healing. On the other side of the battlefield, Death's shadow body? Is it an existence that's close to an immortal body? What's your relationship with the Emperor of Death? The half-step void god realm exclaimed. Death's shadow body. On the blue sea sky ship, Zhao Feng's heart dropped, and he looked at the skeletal division leader with a solemn expression. Death's shadow body? According to the records, only the 36 death guards under the Emperor of Death have such a body. The black-skinned elder's soul trembled. He finally realized how powerful the death shadow that had put him in a perilous situation was. If the shadow of death was really the legendary death guard, then his crushing defeat was not surprising at all. In fact, it was already a miracle that he had survived until now. If not for Zhao Feng and the other half-step kings, he would have died several times over. Death Guard? The intent of death, unstoppable attacks, an almost indestructible defense, and a speed that surpasses the origin core realm. Zhao Feng's mind was filled with thoughts. The god's spiritual eye gave a shocking result after a short simulation. Even if 10 or dozens of great origin core realms teamed up, they wouldn't be able to defeat the Death Guard. Even his void space eye slash wasn't able to deal any critical damage to the Death Guard. The aura of destruction. The shadow of death's figure swayed. Just as he was about to make a move, his body stiffened. He placed one hand on his chest, which was slowly healing, and a hint of pain appeared on his forehead. What was going on? The dark-faced old man had once again escaped death. He was so frightened that he broke out in a cold sweat. It's the laws of destruction. I was born for destruction, and the damage I inflict will be limited even by the most brilliant means and the regenerative abilities of my indestructible constitution. The heart of the other half-step kings jumped. In this small continent, the two extreme powers of death and destruction existed at the same time. No wonder. My purple destruction wind lightning contains a wisp of the laws of destruction, which increases its destructive power dramatically and can stop the healing of injuries. Zhao Feng's heart moved. Back when he was cultivating the purple destruction tempest, he vaguely knew this. And now, his purple destruction wind lightning had merged with the aura of the ancient dream realm, making it even closer to the origin of destruction than the wind lightning emperor. Even though the shadow of death had the death shadow body and could deal more damage than expected, the Death Guard had an indestructible body. The specialty of the indestructible body was its strong healing ability. Once this healing ability was restricted, the damage would increase. Even so, I can only use 60 to 70% of my battle power. These small problems aren't worth worrying about. The shadow of death snickered coldly. Shwa, shwa. The shadow of death flashed through the air like lightning and created a chain of shadows that radiated a terrifying coldness of death. Not good. The heart of the dark-faced old man shook. He couldn't see the Death Guard's movement. However, the coldness of death instantly pierced through his soul. The will of a faux god that shook the soul caused a terrifying pressure to appear in the air. The heaven-earth yuan qi seemed to freeze. However, this time, I have the Emperor's intent of death protecting me. Only a true king can threaten me. The shadow of death didn't move and took the attack of the half-step void god intent. He can still attack so easily even under my void god intent suppression. The half-step king on the other side couldn't stop the shadow of death. On the battlefield nearby, only Zhao Feng and the half-step king were able to see the shadow of death's movement and attack. Shwa, shwa. Zhao Feng's god's spiritual eye saw two figures of death slash toward him while the other slashed toward the black-faced old man. Arg! The black-faced old man let out a blood-curdling scream as one of the death shadows swept past and pierced through his body. Shwa! An illusory shadow blade burst forth with a cold light, shredding the dark-skinned old man's body into dust. Sixth junior martial brother. The half-step king on the other side of the battlefield screamed in anger. The death supervisor that shook the 5 mountain islands zone died just like that. On the ship, Li Yunya took in a cold breath. He also came from the 6-ring palace. In that era, the black-faced old man's death supervisor was a nightmare. Who wouldn't be scared of him? Shoo! At the same time, another incorporeal cold blade formed by the shadow of death slashed towards the ship. Watch out! Li Yunya and the skeletal division leader exclaimed. The one that killed the black-faced old man was just a doppelganger formed by the Death Guard's attack. Its true body charged toward the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship. A terrifying coldness of death covered the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship. Even with Li Yunya and the skeletal division leader's late-stage small origin core realm cultivation, their souls trembled as they froze on the spot. Eye of Ice Soul. Zhao Feng barely managed to lock onto the figure of death with his god's spiritual eye. However, the figure of death was too fast, and it was protected by the intent of death. The Eye of Ice Soul's effect was reduced to the minimum. Hee, target of death. Do you think I don't know that person just now is your enemy? A blurry figure of death appeared above the ship. Hearing this, Zhao Feng, Li Yunya, and the skeletal division leader's hearts shook. The figure of death was different from the black-faced old man. It came from the limitless ocean, and it wasn't hard to see that Zhao Feng and the black-faced old man were enemies. In fact, he also had his own judgment of how the black-faced elder had won against Zhao Feng. This death guard clearly knows that the black-faced old man is my enemy. Why did he still kill him? Zhao Feng was puzzled as he realized something. Before completing the mission, I'll take care of everyone else. The figure of death snickered coldly. After saying this, he slowly extended a hand shrouded in black smoke. One could faintly make out a hand that exuded a dreadful chill of death as it descended from the sky toward Zhao Feng. Boom! Zhao Feng and company felt as if their hearts were being crushed by a mountain. What? Li Yunya spat out a mouthful of blood and half knelt on the ground as he fainted. The skeletal division leader could barely hold on. Its ghost bone body was extremely strong, but the pressure of death made its heart shake. Both Li Yunya and the skeletal division leader were injured. As for the two of them, they were only enduring the residual power of the Void Nether Hand Seal. Their true target was Zhao Feng. Don't even think about it. Zhao Feng's god's spiritual eye was like an ocean that flowed endlessly. The left eye of the god's spirit faintly exuded a wisp of origin energy that originated from the ancient era. His blue hair blew in the wind, and his left eye seemed to have the power to control everything in the world. I can't even suppress his soul? The Death Shadow was shocked. It should be known that the Nether Hand Seal he had unleashed already contained a trace of death will. Even some great origin core realms wouldn't be able to resist his death secret technique. The god's spiritual eye was extremely resilient against soul-based attacks. Zhao Feng wasn't surprised by this. But why didn't he just attack me like he did with the black-faced old man? If he did, I wouldn't be able to block it even with my god's spiritual eye. Zhao Feng's eyes twinkled. Although the death guard radiated an aura of death that enveloped his body, he didn't have any killing intent towards Zhao Feng. Void Space Eye Slash. Zhao Feng's left eye suddenly changed. Shua. A faint ripple of eye bloodline power spread from where the shadow of death stood, and a faint outline of a whirlpool appeared at the center of the ripple. Shua. A 3-inch-long blade appeared out of nowhere and pierced through the figure of death's chest. Great. The hearts of everyone on the Blue Sea Sky ship jumped. If two Void Space Eye Slashes landed on the same spot, even though the figure of death had an immortal body, it would still be critically injured. Hee. How can the same trick work again? A low, gloomy laugh came from the side. The figure of the Void Space Eye Slash disappeared, leaving behind only an afterimage. The skeletal division leader exclaimed. The source of the coldness of death appeared next to it. More accurately speaking, it appeared behind Zhao Feng. The target of the pursuit of death is so easy. A hand covered in black smoke was about to grab Zhao Feng's throat. Suddenly, a coldness of death covered Zhao Feng's body, and his half-step True Yuan froze. Even his bloodline power became extremely weak. The Death Guard appeared right after he used the Void Space Eye Slash. Zhao Feng didn't even have time to dodge, and his body was being restrained by that terrifying power. This was a moment of life and death. Ding! A mysterious dark dagger slashed toward the figure of death's hand, and the sound of metal clashing could be heard. Who's there? The figure of death's figure froze. The two fingers that were about to touch Zhao Feng's throat were cut off. Meow meow. A silver-gray line flashed. A thieving cat the size of a palm sat on the figure of death's shoulder, and its eyes were sharp. Chapter 602. On the other side of the limitless ocean, there were a few figures on a strange black metal sailboat. The warm youth and the white-eyed little girl sat side by side. Behind them stood two tall figures, two death guards. The 4 Death Spirit Lords and the 36 Death Guards are scattered in the 10 island zones nearby. Even if each token of death can sense a large area, it's still very unlikely to find a single person in such a vast limitless ocean, the warm youth sighed. The warm youth suddenly sensed something, and the 2 Death Guards behind him exclaimed lightly. Shua. Apart from the white-eyed little girl, the warm youth and the 2 Death Guards all took out a token of death. Your Highness, it's 33 Death Guard. He's met the target. He's extremely far away from us. According to the analysis of the information, he's around 2 island zones away. The 2 Death Guards said respectfully. Our luck is so good that 33 Death Guard met the target. The warm youth smiled. The 10 island zones were extremely large, and the dozens of people scattered across them were like grains of sand in the ocean. They were able to find the target in this kind of search. One had to admit that 33 Death Guard's luck wasn't just good. Shwa, shwa, shwa. The white-eyed little girl was focused on drawing a picture. The warm youth turned his head and saw a scene appear on the picture. The picture wasn't finished yet. However, for the first time, a shadowy figure appeared on the screen. Its rough outline was outlined, and it held a short sword in its hand. That's right. That's 33 Death Guard. The 2 Death Guards' voices were filled with excitement. Immediately afterward, in the image, a silver-gray cat appeared, holding a dark and translucent mysterious dagger in its hand, dragging a string of shadow dagger lights behind it. Hee hee, I want this cat. The white-eyed little girl was extremely happy when she was halfway through the picture. However, the warm youth and the 2 Death Guards' gazes were locked onto something else. That cat, the weapon in its hand. One of the Death Guards exclaimed. At the same instant, in the 2-star battlefield of the 5 Mountain Islands zone, ding, the little thieving cat's mysterious dagger blocked a bullet for Zhao Feng. Not only that, but 2 of the Death Guard's fingers were also severed. My death shadow body is between a physical body and an intangible body. How could it be? The shadow of death lost his voice for the first time in disbelief. Out of the corner of his eye, he saw a thieving cat sitting on his shoulder. The cat? Both sides, including the half-step king who was charging over, were all stunned. A cat? How could it be? The figure of death seemed to be unable to accept this. With his powerful death shadow body, even normal Great Origin Core realms would find it hard to injure him. The death shadow body had given the Emperor of Death the will of death. It was between life and death, a corpse and a phantom. This kind of physique could nullify 80 to 90% of all attacks. But such a powerful indestructible body had 2 of its fingers cut off by a strange thieving cat's dagger. Dagger? Wait. The shadow of death's gaze landed on the little thieving cat's mysterious dagger. That mysterious dagger was dark and translucent, dragging a shadow blade behind it. The aura of this dagger was deep and unfathomable. Strands of shadowy markings that were like the dark night of the starry sky floated around the blade, and waves of icy cold and hoarse muttering could be faintly heard from it. Could it be a supreme sacred weapon of the Tao of assassination, the Shadow Kill Imperial Dagger? The Death Guard's heart sped up. Shadow Kill Imperial Dagger. The Death Guard's pupils contracted, and they were filled with respect, greed, and wariness. However, before he could recover from the shock, a voice suddenly rang out. Put. The little thieving cat's paw slapped him hard on the face. Arg! The shadow of death roared. Even with his physique, his face burned and he felt dizzy. Shwa! His figure turned blurry and disappeared. Good job, little thieving cat. Zhao Feng felt the coldness of death quickly fade away. At that critical moment, only the little thieving cat could help. From the looks of it, that Death Guard didn't actually try to kill me. He just wanted to capture me alive. Zhao Feng's heart was calm. Killing and capturing alive were 2 different concepts. If the Death Guard wanted to kill Zhao Feng, it would be easier than killing the black-faced elder. After all, the difference in strength between the 2 was too big. However, from the looks of it, the Death Guard's true mission wasn't to kill Zhao Feng, but to capture him. No wonder he wanted to kill the black-faced elder even though he knew he was my enemy. The black-faced elder is also a threat to my life. Zhao Feng's heart became clear. After figuring this out, he heaved a sigh of relief. If the Death Guard's goal was to capture him alive, it would be much more difficult. I don't care who you are. You killed Sixth Brother, so hand over your life. An icy cold voice seemed to come from the depths of hell. It penetrated through the void and shook the soul dimension of this world. A vast faux god realm will pierce toward the shadow of death like a rainbow spear. At this moment, the half-step void god realm flew over and attacked the Death Guard without hesitation. The half-step void god realm was a scholarly youth, but his eyes were blood-red and filled with hatred as he locked onto the Death Guard. Void god realm intent? It's useless. The biggest difference between a half-step void god realm and a great origin core realm is the sublimation of the soul, which can suppress the entire great origin core realm. The Death Guard smiled coldly without any fear. Shwa, shwa. The Death Guard turned into a series of shadows on the battlefield. His speed was unfathomable. Even the half-step void god realm wasn't as fast as the Death Guard. God collapsing technique, anger of the mountains and rivers. The elegant young man stood proudly in the void with his arms spread open. His entire body was surrounded by a layer of translucent light that emitted a shocking divine light. Boom! The air within his domain started to tremble, and waves of gray energy filled everything within 20 miles. The gray energy caused the mountains and rivers to shake, and the sun and moon to lose their color. The source of all this came from the half-step void god realm. Half-step void god realm, what terrifying strength. Zhao Feng felt suffocated, and he waved the array flag, causing the ghost corpse cursed array to be unleashed to block some of the shockwaves. Li Yunya had already been moved into the ship, or else his body would be a bloody mess. You go in as well. Zhao Feng waved his hand and put the skeletal division leader into the 10,000 ghost pearl. The half-step void god realm's attacks shook heaven and earth. Anyone below the great origin core realm would be courting death if they tried to approach. Dark blue water ripples appeared on the surface of his body. The waves undulated, reducing and absorbing most of the aftershocks. His state of existence was close to the peak great origin core realm and his water bloodline, but he was only barely able to stand on the edge of the battlefield. Whoosh! The shadow of death's swift movement technique was finally hindered. However, he still managed to approach the half-step void god realm with his immortal body as wisps of black smoke rose from his body. Death God Sword Whirlwind Dance. The faint black short sword in the Death Guard's hand turned into a cold and gloomy sword shadow that contained the power of death. Waves of beautiful death sword shadows condensed to the extreme, rippling out dozens of meters in radius as they clashed with the half-step king realm. Sacred Emperor Brush. The scholarly youth snickered coldly as a mysterious earth-grade weapon appeared in his hand. He gently waved it, and sharp beams of light that could flatten a mountain range appeared. Fake Sacred Emperor Brush? The real Sacred Emperor Brush comes from the legendary Sacred Emperor of the Lord Dynasty, and it's a peak-tier earth-grade weapon. The expression of the Death Guard changed slightly. Boom, light and the air of death intertwined, and a wave of dust covered everything. Let's retreat for now. Zhao Feng opened his god's spiritual eye and confirmed a path. He then used the ghost corpse cursed array to escape in a certain direction. We won't be able to escape no matter which side wins the battle between half-step void god realms. Zhao Feng took a deep breath. With his current strength, he couldn't interfere in a battle of that level. Meow meow. The little thieving cat sat on his shoulder and played with the mysterious dagger in its hand. The Shadow Kill Imperial Dagger, is that dagger? Even the Death Guard's finger was sliced off. Zhao Feng was surprised. The strength of the little thieving cat's main body couldn't threaten the Death Guard. It was all thanks to the Shadow Kill Imperial Dagger that the little thieving cat was able to save Zhao Feng and slice off the Death Guard's finger. Back then, the little thieving cat had spent a lot of effort in the Purple Saint treasured palace to obtain this mysterious dagger, which made the Purple Saint partial spirit panic. So, the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship soon left the battlefield and entered the limitless ocean. After entering the limitless ocean, the gravity dropped dramatically, and the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship's speed increased by more than 10 times and was still climbing. The distance between the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship and the battlefield became further and further. Boom! When leaving the 2-star battlefield, Zhao Feng felt the auras of 2 Void God Realm Kings clashing. However, Void God Realm Kings fought on a higher level. The battle below was like a game of ants in their eyes. The aura of death, could it be related to the legendary Emperor of Death? The 2 Void God Realm Kings sensed the existence of the Death Guard. Shwa! One of the magnificent divine senses scanned over the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship from several 100,000 miles away. What a terrifying aura! Everyone within the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship felt suffocated, just like when they faced the terrifying aura of the Whale King. Luckily, that divine sense only scanned over once. Quick, let's leave the 2-star battlefield. Zhao Feng circulated his water bloodline and wind lightning True Yuan into the array of the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship. This was because the element of the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship was water lightning. When Zhao Feng circulated his bloodline power and True Yuan, he could increase the ship's speed for a short amount of time. Whoosh, the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship sped through the air, and the aura of the 2-star battlefield became further and further away. For hours later, ping. Zhao Feng's god's spiritual eye twitched as the aura of death approached. Target of death? Where do you think you're going? If it wasn't for the fact that I wanted to capture you alive, I wouldn't have gone through so much trouble. A tall and messy shadow chased after him from behind. The pursuit of death was approaching. You guys dive into the ocean first? Zhao Feng walked to the top of the ship and ordered. Captain Lulan Jishui and company were filled with worry as they let the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship sink into the limitless ocean. Above the limitless ocean, only the blue-haired youth was left. His eyes twinkled as he thought, the only way to survive is to defeat the Death Guard. Because the Death Guard's speed was even faster than normal half-step kings. No one present could escape with their speed. Chapter 603. Within the Limitless Ocean. Zhao Feng's blue hair blew in the wind, and his left eye was as blue as the ocean, filled with calmness and determination. Far away whoosh. The aura of the pursuit of death got closer and closer, and the sense of danger kept on increasing. Meow meow. The little thieving cat sat on Zhao Feng's shoulder, and its eyes were like gems in the night, mysterious and mysterious. Undying body, representative of the intent of death, unparalleled speed and offense under the Void God realm. What do I need to do to defeat it? Zhao Feng took a deep breath as his god's spiritual eye quickly calculated. No matter how one looked at it, the Death Guard was unrivaled under the Void God realm. Putting aside Zhao Feng, even some peak Great Origin Core realms wouldn't be able to block 1 or 2 moves from the Death Guard. However, it's not impossible to defeat the Death Guard. Zhao Feng's gaze met with the little thieving cats for an instant. If it was a normal sovereign or sovereign lord, they wouldn't have any chance against the Death Guard. This was because they didn't have any methods to threaten the Death Guard. However, things were different for Zhao Feng. My Void Space Ice Slash and the little thieving cat's Shadow Kill Imperial Dagger can both threaten the Death Guard. A light flashed through Zhao Feng's eyes. Right at this moment, the figure of death sped through the air and got within 100 miles of Zhao Feng. Eye of Ice Soul. An invisible coldness froze the consciousness of the figure of death. Instantly, the figure of death's speed and agility had decreased by a lot. The Death Guard's injuries seemed to have worsened after fighting with a half-step Void God realm, and the intent of death on it has also weakened. Zhao Feng's god's spiritual eye locked onto the figure of death and came to a conclusion. The Death Guard's strength had decreased, which made Zhao Feng overjoyed. The small chance of winning had increased by a lot. Even if the target of death can only use 40 to 50% of its battle power, capturing you is still extremely easy. The tall and messy shadow of the Death Guard slowly closed in. His lips curled into a cold smile as he saw through Zhao Feng's intentions. The Death Guard turned into a series of blurry shadows and suddenly sped up, pouncing towards Zhao Feng. Indeed worthy of being the target of the pursuit of death. A measly half-step Origin Core realm was able to lock onto me with just his eye bloodline. The Death Guard was still locked onto by the Eye of Ice Soul. In the previous 2-star battlefield, only Zhao Feng's god's spiritual eye and that half-step king could see the movement of the Death Guard. Set the formation. The skeletal division leader waved the black flag and helped set up the Ghost Corp's cursed array. The Death Guard leans more towards the assassin school, specializing in single-target and melee attacks. Reduce the range of the formation and focus on him. Zhao Feng transmitted his voice. The Ghost Corp's cursed formation's surging gray mist was compressed to a radius of 1 to 200 zhang. The ghost corpse cursed array was extremely dense in such a small area. Even a great origin core realm would be in danger if they entered. Whoosh, black smoke rose from the Death Guard's body as he entered the ghost corpse cursed array. In the darkness, countless pale, bloody, withered hands reached into his body and dug for food. I'll finish off that skeleton first, then capture that brat. The eyebrows of the Death Guard furrowed. He could easily block the ghost corpse cursed array with his death shadow body at his peak. However, his injuries weren't light, especially his heart, which had been pierced by the void space eye slash. The destructive aura had wreaked havoc for a long time, and he hadn't had a chance to recover. The 100 Corpses cursed formation was a mysterious and profound formation. Any attack would be withstood by the entire formation. It specialized in single-target attacks and assassinations, but it didn't specialize in area attacks. However, as long as the person controlling the array was killed, the array could be broken. Very good. Now that the Death Guard is injured, the power of the curse can be doubled. Zhao Feng's heart moved. His god's spiritual eye soon found the Death Guard's motive. Skeletal Division Leader, watch out. Zhao Feng's urgent voice was transmitted to the Skeletal Division Leader. Don't even think about it. The Skeletal Division Leader's body expanded as it merged with the 9 deadly In bone, turning into a flaming bone giant that was 40 or 50 yards tall. Under the flaming bone giant, the Skeletal Division Leader had the power of the ghost corpse bone, and its every move released flames of death. The Skeletal Division Leader was extremely confident in its defense. In this state, it could even block the attacks of a great origin core realm for a while. You're just a grain of rice, how embarrassing. The Death Guard's shadow split into several blades that slashed toward the Skeletal Division Leader. Whoosh, whoosh. The flaming bone giant was hit by the blades, and the sound of bones cracking could be heard. Arg. The Skeletal Division Leader screamed as its ghost corpse bone body was sliced into 4 or 5 pieces. Even the formation flag was reduced to dust. The ghostly mist formed by the ghost corpse cursed formation dissipated at a speed visible to the naked eye. The array had been broken. Zhao Feng's heart skipped a beat. In just one move, the Skeletal Division Leader had been sliced apart and the ghost corpse cursed array had been destroyed. Furthermore, this wasn't even the Death Guard's main body. At the same time, whoosh, the Death Guard's main body closed in on Zhao Feng. The Death Guard's doppelganger split apart the Skeletal Division Leader and destroyed the ghost corpse cursed array. Its main body would be able to capture Zhao Feng in one fell swoop. All of this could be done in just one move. Too terrifying. Zhao Feng felt as if he had fallen into the abyss of death, and he realized that he had underestimated the difference in strength. Even though the Death Guard only had 40 to 50% of its battle power, it still surpassed normal Great Origin Core realms. Why aren't you giving up? The Death Guard's figure appeared in front of Zhao Feng and reached out with its black hand. In reality, if the Death Guard really wanted to kill him, Zhao Feng's corpse would be somewhere else. However, the Death Guard's goal was to capture Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng had already calculated this. At this moment in time, a coldness of death covered Zhao Feng's body, and wisps of black light could be seen binding Zhao Feng and the little thieving cat. Meow meow. Zhao Feng and the little thieving cat were entangled by the threads of black energy and were about to be tied up. My body. Zhao Feng circulated his power and struggled against the wisps of black light. The Death Guard was slightly surprised. It didn't expect a measly half-step origin core realm like Zhao Feng to be able to struggle. Even some great origin core realms wouldn't be able to do this. Zhao Feng's state of existence was close to the peak Great Origin Core realm, so it couldn't be measured using normal standards. The Death Guard's hand reached toward Zhao Feng's shoulder. At the same time, he was also wary of the little thieving cat, and the wisps of black light also bound the little thieving cat. Right at this moment, the situation changed. Under the Death Guard's grasp, the hand seemed to have sunk into water. Water spirit divine change. The dark blue light around Zhao Feng started to twist, and his body started to ripple. In an instant, Zhao Feng's body started to liquefy and become bigger. Liquefying his body? The Death Guard was a bit absent-minded, and his hands sank into the body of the water spirit giant. In the water spirit giant form, Zhao Feng's defense was almost unrivaled, and his recovery speed had reached a shocking level. However, even then, Zhao Feng also harumphed as he was injured by the coldness of death. From this, one could see that no matter how strong an immortal body was, it was only relative. Luckily, his state of existence was strong, and the water spirit giant form allowed his recovery speed to reach a monstrous level. This brat is indeed not simple. The death guard muttered as he came back to his senses and casually retracted his hand. However, right at this moment, the situation changed again. Ice and water transformation. Zhao Feng's god's spiritual eye saw every detail of the situation. See, in an instant, the part of the death guard that was in the water started to freeze. You want to freeze my hand? The death guard's pupils contracted as he snickered coldly. The difference in strength between the two was huge. So what if Zhao Feng could freeze his hand temporarily? Ding shua! Suddenly, a dark, transparent, and mysterious dagger slashed at his hand, which had been frozen for a short period of time, leaving a shadow behind it. How can you escape from my silk of death? The death guard's expression changed dramatically. The little thieving cat was sitting on his shoulder with a smile that wasn't a smile. Crack! The death guard's hand broke. The death guard screamed as he retreated with killing intent in his eyes. Damned little thieving cat, I'm going to tear you into 10,000 pieces. A cold light exploded from his body and swept across everything within half a mile. Meow meow. The little thieving cat's figure blurred and disappeared. Boom. Zhao Feng's liquefied body barely managed to block the cold energy of death, and as he was injured, his body quickly recovered. After a while, the sea of mist calmed down. However, the death guard's anger hadn't subsided yet. He used his senses to search for the little thieving cat. It was extremely humiliating for a death guard to have one of his hands cut off by a cat. I'll use this chance. Zhao Feng's heart jumped as he locked onto the death guard with his left eye and attacked. Void Space Eye Slash. Shwa. A 3-foot-long blade glittered with the aura of destruction as it pierced through the death guard's body. A shadow was instantly annihilated on the spot he was standing on. Unfortunately, Zhao Feng sighed. Even though the Void Space Eye Slash wasn't able to hit the death guard's emotions were still unstable. Shwa. The death guard appeared on the other side, but he grunted in pain. Black smoke rose from his shoulder, and a small burnt hole could be seen. An aura of destruction radiated from it. This time, the Void Space Eye Slash didn't hit the death guard's vitals, so it didn't deal much damage to the death guard's indestructible body. However, even then, the death guard was enraged. As a death guard, he was the nightmare of billions of beings. When had he ever been defeated by a half-step origin core realm and a cat? Void Space Eye Slash. I can still use it one last time. Zhao Feng gathered what little remained of his eye bloodline power. Life and death would be decided in the next moment. Meow meow. A silver-gray line suddenly flashed through the air. Shwa. A dark, transparent, and mysterious dagger slashed towards the death guard with a glint of shadow. The power of space, what speed? As expected of the little thieving cat. Zhao Feng's heart jumped. Out of everyone present, only the little thieving cat could attack a death guard. Ha! You're courting death. The Shadow Kill Imperial Dagger is mine. The death guard was overjoyed. Wang, a dark blade of light appeared around his body and swept toward the little thieving cat, covering everything within 100 yards. Victory or defeat depends on this. Zhao Feng circulated his god's spiritual eye to the maximum and radiated a terrifying aura that came from the ancient era. The little thieving cat's body was about to fall into the killing move. Spatial movement. A wisp of eye bloodline power formed a whirlpool that engulfed the little thieving cat. Chapter 604. In the Limitless Ocean. An hour ago, the day before Zhao Feng fought with the death guards, the third painting is almost done. The white-eyed little girl looked at the eye-catching cat in the painting with joy. Let me see. The warm youth came over, and the two death guards next to him also looked over curiously. However, when their gazes landed on the painting, their expressions changed dramatically. What? How is this possible? The warm youth and the three death guards exclaimed. Within the painting, the thieving cat was indeed very eye-catching. Its eyes were as deep as the night, and there was a trace of cunning in them. However, its opponent was in a terrible state. The death guard's heart had been pierced through by a mysterious dagger. The dagger in the cat's hand left a trail of afterimages that radiated an aura of destruction as it flew out of the death guard's body. Are you kidding me? Even if the 33rd death guard is one of the weakest death guards, he wouldn't be killed by a cat. The two death guards shook their heads. They didn't think it was realistic. However, when they thought about how this was just a little girl's painting, they smiled. Junior Marshall Sister by Lynn, you're definitely playing tricks on us, right? The warm youth said with a smile. By Lynn isn't lying. I really like that cat. The white-eyed little girl started to sob. The warm youth was surprised and immediately comforted her. At the same time, the painting in the white-eyed little girl's hand made the warm youth feel uneasy. The Shadow Kill Imperial Dagger is a supreme sacred weapon of the Tao of Assassination. It can ignore almost all defenses and can counter the shadow of death to a certain degree. The warm youth suddenly thought of something. Your Highness, if the 33rd Death Guard dies, we'll sense it. One of the Death Guards burst out laughing. Hearing that, the warm youth let out a breath. Right at this moment, the white-eyed little girl's tears turned into a smile. Idiot. That'll happen an hour later. An hour later? The two Death Guards couldn't help but laugh. Master said that I'm the inheritor of the Destiny God Eye. The white-eyed little girl said angrily. Destiny God Eye. The three people present, including the sunny young man, were shocked. On the other side of the Sea of Void. You're courting death. The Shadow Kill Imperial Dagger is mine. The Death Guard sneered as a dark blade of light appeared around him and engulfed the little thieving cat within 100 yards. Void movement. A wisp of eye bloodline power formed a whirlpool that engulfed the little thieving cat. At the same time, Poo-pew. The Death Guard unleashed a pitch-black blade of shadow energy that turned the day into night. Let's see how you're going to dodge this time. My attack can penetrate a radius of 300 meters. The Death Guard sneered in his heart. But in the next moment, his expression changed. The little thieving cat had been swallowed, and there was a familiar spatial ripple. Saved by him? Oh no, the Death Guard's face paled. A wisp of hidden eye bloodline power formed the outline of a whirlpool that appeared where he was standing. A dark and translucent mysterious dagger pierced through his heart. The Death Guard's body froze, and fear appeared on his face. Shwa. The dagger that pierced through his body was the Shadow Kill Imperial Dagger, and wisps of destruction aura radiated from it. His Death Shadow body didn't have much defense against the Shadow Kill Imperial Dagger. What was even more terrifying was that the Shadow Kill Imperial Dagger had pierced through his heart. Furthermore, it wasn't the first time that the same spot had been pierced through. The first time, the Void Space Eye Slash had pierced through the same spot, and the destructive aura of wind lightning had wreaked havoc there. Meow meow. The little thieving cat's palm-sized body jumped out of the Death Guard's body the instant the Shadow Kill Imperial Dagger pierced through the Death Guard's chest. The Death Guard's illusory body was flickering between light and dark, alternating between a solid and a shadow. His eyes were filled with hatred as he stared at the little thieving cat that had just jumped out of his body. Ripple of death. He barely managed to burst out a wave of dense death chi from his body. Coupled with the will of death, it instantly swept out a radius of 1,000 feet. Shwa. With a flash of silver-gray light, the little thieving cat disappeared. Meow meow. The next instant, the little thieving cat's voice sounded from Zhao Feng's ancient metal ring. Under the water spirit divine change, Zhao Feng was like an undying water giant, and his body started to wrinkle. What terrifying power of death! Even in this state, Zhao Feng's life force was still injured. Luckily, his state of existence was extremely strong, and he was in a liquid state, so his recovery speed was monstrous. On the other side, the Death Guard's body fell from the sky. He was dead. Zhao Feng used his god's spiritual eye to confirm that there was no aura of life force on the death guard. Zhao Feng let out a long breath as his body started to solidify. Good job, little thieving cat. Zhao Feng felt as if he had just survived a calamity. Meow meow. The little thieving cat appeared on his shoulder and bared its fangs as it made a face at the death guard's body. The little thieving cat played a huge part in killing the guard at the last moment. If it wasn't for the little thieving cat's interference, Zhao Feng wouldn't have been able to turn the situation around. The Void Space Eye Slash and the Shadow Kill Imperial Dagger are both factors that can threaten the Death Guard. Moving the little thieving cat into the Death Guard's body and adding the Purple Destruction Wind Lightning to the Shadow Kill Imperial Dagger is basically merging the two into one. There was excitement on Zhao Feng's face. Because the little thieving cat was only the size of a palm, he could use spatial movement on it. Spatial movement was a spatial ability, and if it was used on a living creature, the target couldn't resist or else the difficulty would be countless times greater. The target of this movement was the little thieving cat. This was also the trump card that Zhao Feng and the thieving cat had decided on. I can't stay here for long. Zhao Feng's face was pale white, and he felt like he had lost all his energy. The sense of danger that covered his soul had only lessened by half, but it hadn't disappeared. He understood that the Death Guard was just one of the Emperor of Death's minions. The pursuit of death wouldn't stop until its goal was achieved. The Death Guard's body not far away started to release an intent of death that was even purer than before. Wisps of death covered the Death Guard's body with the naked eye. The Death Guard's body started to fade, and his injuries started to heal. Although life force didn't immediately return to the body, all of the wounds were healed. Zhao Feng's god's spiritual eye saw a token of death that was 70 to 80% similar to the one that Grandmaster Yin Kong had. However, the intent of death protected the Death Guard's soul. Damn it! The Death Shadow body is an undying body. As long as the soul isn't destroyed, it can revive. Zhao Feng had a solemn expression. Luckily, the Death Guard's body had been destroyed, and it wouldn't be able to revive in a short period of time. Even legendary liquid like the Elixir of Life might not be able to revive it. Retreat! Zhao Feng ordered. He didn't dare to get close to the Death Guard. The subordinates of the Emperor of Death were unfathomable, and they had the token of death protecting them. Furthermore, Zhao Feng didn't want to touch anything from the Death Guard. Shua! Zhao Feng waved his hand and put away the cursed ghost corpses. Master! Save me! Amidst the ghostly mist, a skeleton that had been chopped into several pieces had two balls of flames dancing in its eye sockets. The skeletal division leader's body had the body of death, similar to a ghost corpse. As long as its soul wasn't destroyed, its bones wouldn't be destroyed easily. Shua! Zhao Feng waved his hand and put the skeletal division leader's bones into the 10,000 ghost pearl. Within the 10,000 ghost pearl, any ghost corpse would be nourished by the air of death and become stronger. Unfortunately, the array flag was destroyed and the skeletal division leader was heavily injured. It won't be able to set up the ghost corpse cursed array in a short period of time. Zhao Feng felt his heart hurt. Even though they had won this battle, it had been extremely tragic and thrilling. Right at this moment, the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship appeared. Zhao Feng jumped onto the Blue Sea Sky ship. The Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship entered the limitless ocean under the control of Lulan Jishui and company. At the same time, whoosh! Under the effect of the Death Token's death wave, the Death Guard's body turned into a streak of black light and disappeared into the distance. The token of death on the Death Guard is indeed not simple. Zhao Feng's eyes twinkled. The token of death contained the Emperor of Death's intent of death and could be used as a medium to summon the power of the Eye of Death. However, what surprised Zhao Feng was that the Emperor of Death's power didn't actually descend. For some reason, the Emperor of Death couldn't personally participate in the pursuit and had sent his subordinates instead. Zhao Feng didn't know. In order to confirm Zhao Feng's general location, the Emperor of Death used the Heavenly Bridge of Death, which required him to sleep for several years to recover his eye bloodline power. In the limitless ocean on the other side, the warm youth and the two Death Guards sensed something. the medallions of death in the three's hands trembled and transmitted a special message. The 33rd Death Guard has died. The warm youth's heart shook. According to what he knew, the cultivation of this target hadn't reached the origin core realm yet. The 33rd Death Guard is ranked at the bottom of the 36 Death Guards. Even so, his strength is enough to look down on those at the origin core realm. Normal Great Origin Core realms are as weak as babies in front of him. One of the Death Guards murmured, "How could the 33rd Death Guard die?" The three present were in disbelief. However, the reality was that the white-eyed little girl's prediction from an hour ago had been proven. However, although the 33rd Death Guard has died, his soul hasn't been destroyed, and his death shadow body can be revived. We'll know the result soon. The warm youth's eyes flashed. As long as the 33rd Death Guard revived and obtained more information about the target, their chances of success would be higher next time. Furthermore, Master left behind this helper. The warm young man's gaze fell on the white-eyed little girl. His confidence in this pursuit of death increased greatly. Chapter 605. Within the captain's room of the Blue Lightning Sea Sky ship. Zhao Feng's expression was weak as he sat cross-legged. He didn't immediately block his eye bloodline. For some reason, Zhao Feng's god-spiritual eye felt as if it was being spied on by an untouchable power. Zhao Feng didn't know what it was, but he was sure it was real. What kind of power is that? It's not physical or soul-based. It doesn't seem to have any killing power, but it's stronger than any other power in the world. Zhao Feng's eyebrows furrowed. Under close inspection, the god's spiritual eye's reaction became clearer and stronger. Furthermore, this feeling was both familiar and foreign. He had a similar feeling when he was facing the Eye of Death. Could it be another bloodline descendant of the 8 Great God Eyes? Zhao Feng's eyes twinkled. As a descendant of the 8 Great God Eyes, Zhao Feng had only clashed with the power of the Eye of Death. As for Grandmaster Yin Kong, although he possessed Space Eye intent, he was not a bloodline descendant of the Space-Time God Eye. Shua. Zhao Feng circulated his bloodline power and blocked the god's spiritual eye. However, the mysterious power that interfered with his probing did not disappear. Due to the god's spiritual eye's blocking, the feeling was slightly weaker. Meow meow. The little thieving cat sat on Zhao Feng's shoulder and waved its paw. The two of them were so connected that they could understand each other's thoughts with just a glance. You're saying that it's related to the Tao of Life? Zhao Feng's heart jumped. From this, he thought of Lu Qinxin's master, the inheritor of the Tao of Life. Lu Qinxin's master changed her disciple's fate and made her change her name to Lu Qinxin. If it wasn't for this, Zhao Feng wouldn't have met Lu Qinxin. Although Zhao Feng had caused havoc in the flooding lake city, he had made City Lord Lu Jiutian break through to the true Lord rank in anger. However, in the end, Lu Qinxin had disappeared in the Outer Realm inheritance and there had been no news of her until now. Everything pointed to disaster. Fate is a very mysterious thing. It was difficult for Zhao Feng to deal with such an unfathomable power head-on. However, he firmly believed that the stronger one's control over one's own destiny. This was especially true for the god's spiritual eye. As his eye bloodline power became stronger, his control over everything in the world became stronger. The eternal shatter, the primordial gods perish, turning into trillions of dust. Continue the supreme divine power of my eye bloodline, rule the ages and control the ages. The ancient voice echoed in his mind. Ruling over 1,000 autumns, controlling the ages. Zhao Feng's heart was suddenly filled with a strong belief and will. Whoosh! His god's spiritual eye opened once more, and the lake surged with an aura that came from the ancient times and looked down on the desolate era. With Zhao Feng as the origin, the will aura permeated time and space, shaking the world. Meanwhile, on the other side of the Sea of Void, the white-eyed little girl suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood, her slender body swaying. Bai Lin, what's wrong? The warm youth went to support her, and his expression changed slightly. A hint of fear appeared in the eyes of the white-eyed little girl. My eyes hurt a bit, and I need to rest for a while. However, Bai Lin has already found a clue to fate. The white-eyed little girl said weakly. A clue to fate? The warm youth's eyes lit up. Spiritual sacred land. After saying those words, the white-eyed little girl fell into a deep sleep. In the limitless ocean whoosh. The blue sea sky ship passed through the ocean of mist, and lightning flashed across the sky. In the blink of an eye, 2 months passed. Within the blue sea sky ship, everyone's injuries had recovered, and everything had returned to normal. Apart from Lulan Jishui, there was a new member of the blue sea sky ship, Li Yunya. After escaping death, Li Yunya decided to join the blue sea sky ship. I was framed by someone from the same sect, and I have no place in the 5 Mountain Islands zone. I've decided to repay Captain for saving my life and work for the blue sea sky ship. Li Yunya's words were still fresh in his mind. Li Yunya was more experienced than Lulan Jishui and company when it came to traveling. In the past 2 months, Li Yunya's addition had improved the blue sea sky ship's flight path and unleashed its maximum potential. He could even repair parts of the ship that were damaged. Therefore, half a month ago, Zhao Feng had appointed Li Yunya as the vice-captain. Li Yunya, how much do you know about the Emperor of Death? Zhao Feng asked. Li Yunya thought for a moment before answering. In the entire Ash-Gray Sea and the 3 spiritual zones, every Void God Realm King is a mighty existence at the top of the pyramid. Moreover, there were even fewer virtual gods who could be called great emperors. Their status was extraordinary, and their divine powers were unfathomable. Amongst them, the Emperor of Death has the Eye of Death and is one of the strongest emperors. The Void God realm was split into kings and emperors. 2 levels. Even Li Yunya didn't know the exact difference between the 2 levels. The Emperor of Death has 4 Death Spirit Lords and 36 Death Guards. The 4 Death Spirit Lords are all Void God Realm Kings. Li Yunya said calmly. Zhao Feng's expression became more solemn as he listened. The Death Guard he had met before was only one of the 36 Death Guards under the Emperor of Death. Furthermore, if it wasn't for the fact that the Death Guard wanted to capture Zhao Feng alive, he wouldn't have been defeated. If he just wanted to kill Zhao Feng, it would be several times easier. Luckily, I didn't meet the 4 Death Spirit Lords. Zhao Feng broke out in cold sweat. If he faced a Void God Realm King, he would have no hope at all. Apparently, the 36 Death Guards are also ranked in order. For example, the 1st Death Guard, the 2nd Death Guard, all the way up to the 36th Death Guard. Li Yunya continued. There was a ranking? Zhao Feng's pupils contracted, and his expression kept changing. What was the ranking of the Death Guard he had defeated among the 36 Death Guards? I can confirm that the Death Guard that Captain defeated wasn't ranked in the top of the 36 Death Guards. This is because the Death Guards that were ranked in the top were mostly half-step Void God realms. The top Death Guards are almost as threatening as a Void God Realm King. Li Yunya said in a rational tone. Hearing that, the pressure in Zhao Feng's heart became stronger. The pursuit of death is too terrifying. No wonder no one had been able to escape from the pursuit of death. Even if they could escape from the Death Guards, they wouldn't be able to escape from the Death Spirit Lords. A small number of targets had reached the Void God realm and could even escape from the 4 Death Spirit Lords. However, in the end there was still the Emperor of Death. The eyes of death and the intent of death. No one in the Tsang Ocean understood it better than the Emperor of Death. Within the captain's room, the pursuit of death. I won't give up. Zhao Feng gritted his teeth. He was chased all the way, on tenterhooks, and in such dire straits, like a stray dog. Zhao Feng had never experienced such humiliation ever since he stepped onto the path of cultivation. Not only will I escape, but I'll also continue to grow. I will continue to grow, and one day in the future, I will return the humiliation I suffered in the past several times over. The humiliation in Zhao Feng's eyes turned into battle intent. The pressure of being chased by death had also squeezed out his potential along the way. Within the 10,000 Ghost Pearl, Master, my injuries have mostly recovered. From now on, I'll craft a new array flag and try to strengthen the Ghost Corp's cursed array. The Skeletal Division leader's voice sounded. Zhao Feng nodded his head. The Skeletal Division leader and Li Yunya were his left and right arms. Zhao Feng wouldn't be stingy and would give them some of the resources he had. For example, Li Yunya had recently obtained 2 barrels of heart blood essence, and his state of existence had increased dramatically. He wasn't far from the peak small origin core realm. Li Yunya was a once-in-a-thousand-year genius in the 2.5-star 6-ring palace. Zhao Feng also saw his potential. There's only 20 to 30 barrels of heart blood essence left. It's getting less and less effective for me. Zhao Feng soaked in the heart blood essence. Recently, the frequency at which he used the heart blood essence became lower and lower. Over the past 2 months, Zhao Feng had only used 2 barrels. The aura from the ancient dream realm and the heart blood essence made Zhao Feng's state of existence and bloodline slowly reach the peak great origin core realm. Even the aura from the ancient dream realm is getting weaker. Zhao Feng let out the long sigh. He had used all the methods he could think of to increase his strength. Zhao Feng found that the closer he got to the origin core realm, the greater the resistance he felt towards the void god realm. Shua. Zhao Feng closed his eyes and entered the mysterious whirlpool at the center of the lake. Ancient Dream Realm. Zhao Feng once more found himself in this ancient and desolate land. In an instant, Zhao Feng's body and soul were facing a boundless pressure. Everything in his field of vision was primal and desolate. Absorb. Zhao Feng stood in the Ancient Dream Realm and absorbed the aura from the Ancient Dream Realm. As he entered the Ancient Dream Realm again and again, Zhao Feng became more and more familiar with absorbing the aura from the Ancient Dream Realm. Up until now, his body and source of true spirit had absorbed a lot of the aura from the Ancient Dream Realm. Zhao Feng's state of existence had already surpassed the limits of humans. If he didn't hide it, his every action and breath would radiate the aura of an ancient beast. With just my physical strength, I can kill a half-step origin core realm demonic beast with one punch. Zhao Feng felt the enormous potential within his bloodline. Within his dantian, Zhao Feng's source of true spirit was as sticky as porridge, and it was replaced by a faint purple half-step true yuan. This half-step true yuan was formed from the purple destruction wind lightning, and it radiated an aura of destruction that was even more terrifying. Just a bit more and I'll be able to break through to the origin core realm. Zhao Feng found that he could control his body's cultivation even in the ancient dream realm. Furthermore, that kind of cultivation effect, as well as the comprehension of states, was many times better than in the real world. The only downside was that the amount of time Zhao Feng could stay in the ancient dream realm was very short. A few dozen breaths later, Zhao Feng couldn't hold on any longer, and blood leaked out of his mouth as he exited the ancient dream realm. 52 breaths. Zhao Feng revealed a smile. He was getting closer and closer to his goal of 100 breaths. Time was of the essence. Zhao Feng quickly absorbed the aura from the ancient dream realm within his body. My bloodline's strengthening has slowed down. Why don't I merge some of the ancient dream realm's aura into my soul? A thought suddenly appeared in Zhao Feng's mind. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.